you know omo a come here then edi wom ni say nti no omo total 584 plus the staff the cast staff for teachers and non-teachers nyina kabuma na form staff omo say 146,000 wo kabomu a unya 730 sa ni pomo mo duane at least 1 square meal a day say what yes instead say NDC for be bon sem e dey welcome this good mission no dia mo to ayampe me president Kufuor on say the type of president na yenya no Ghana hasisi ya say one so 5 e wa Africa ha nyina ka Africa ke problem to be twa wo dia hwe Alassane Ouattara ya wo Lolling Gbagbo ni enya die besie ba ye mfa ne se nka asia or just one term and I said o see power greed power conscious no ni time no so a Alassane Ouattara de no obeye bi wo Ghana ha ho Cote d'Ivoire ho no hwe demonstrations ni ade ye koso kra manipa dodo na aye den afam owu say ye implement constitution ni ne ye implement constitution ni china. We don't want to experience that in Ghana here. Nipa no our first time krana na otimi sa ka che Ghana for se ntu abama ni biem no. Hwa ekon ade fam banks ahodo guye microfinance guye dum so ade tina mu ni tam nyinara. Ya no wa kwanya so be ka che o se tu abama mi biem. Ko dua nua o se nua na hye nkonfem tutuko jida sada ene na sifo na osi odada o se kura o ka no wo se sam makonya na memra onyanya konya se twom masita Ghana for me see ye besu moja nya ni si o moja ene ye besu ede na baka obetie o wa konya kura abasa ka se to abama ni bi no o ka je se mintie obia de obia ka bia na masochi ye bia san dan ye nya president ya ye nhwe COVID-19 kwa afa so fight COVID se si am no ka se ye da so anu nsuo no free o nkane ya ne da so na adamu free o o se up to December enko bi se emlem beduro enti no sa leverage we ya na don Kufuor ado e dia ama citizen of Ghana ya ama ada di se ye kasa Ghana sika wo ha na do kan na binum di na no e wo fom no sika o man mu no ebi na akwaje bosia na ndi fom kwatena so no ma kwan mo kasa ye mo etrim ni efa bi matuga cause omo no asem ne se meet o ma kwan se wunya de tuga nipa na wati awie no oni akwanya bia ode ba be ya no na so hwan wo ko bi sa se ye no kra na se nye ne kra nti fa framem na nipa no mfa asa me pese mo mti asese gona de days ya na Ghana fo binom ejina propaganda so ene ne to aba me see Foxy
yes sir
ya call grounds na ya call grounds no we thank God say ene Ghana fo atia memu na se amanyo no o mati ase obisa no say bia Kufuor ado mama wana beto abama no no wa kire ne position die ntina beto abama no nye say bia first no bitim ka say hia me fie msa oye NDC party na me pe MPP party na
on you want say no be ye because
asante kasa me ho ye ene madidi ame ayepe
me obia no wa come di na na ye
comment
now
respect yourself and comport yourself. If you respect yourself and comport yourself, you never tell you that.
Regional communication.
Mr. Teku Daniel, the regional secretary for the Progressive People Party PPP. Papa Kosindo with the party no. And also Ewofia. Menu share that, but time I buy no be I like it. I like the way. Or remain calm. I be Mrs. Henry.
Boss.
My main cat here for say Christian Opokwa Jima so and I'm come out. That's the name I have.
Teku and Tiono.
Okay.
Onya
Teku. Thank you. Okay.
Let me Duncan Abombe.
Oh, okay. Did Opani?
My boss.
Let's say enough yanko.
Meda CP manin campaign chairman oni obejafo. Special producer na o freyen no. Ani jin ho pa ko fa so kasa na na shinkran. Ani shira no. Na minchia obejafo so. Na bejani ba ko a o introduce na ai mama kakra ne PPP. Na menzi bia Indian Wogu party now. So that's what. I see. That's what Indian okay, that's it. Now me ko abonte so me chia my colleague communicators back managing hopa Lukman Alhassan. Me chia na pa no pay. Me ya wutie.
Me tie pa.
Se yeto memo. Na on mine no SCC pillars. We have various sectors. Yeah, assigning portfolios to them to help guide the state to grow. Emu baako any police. Adeɛ baako a Ghana for nhyɛ dan hyɛ no nso ne sɛ dodoɔ no ara no nhyɛ dan hyɛ no nso ne sɛ government ayɛka na sɛ governance ayɛka paa no. The entire government and as a governance, we hear and mamma no me no. O my yin idea. Ya dear sovereign power. I share a band being say, only a nim. Now to near mamma no. You take it about 75%. A security. Me no me no, a bambo. And only the kind here will be BM. Enti abaye kotono a friend say universal adult suffrage no. The entire mamma no me ni say adaje. Na as a citizen so usimi do hu shem to abani bi no and say wodi utimi komo obi ama na bo wo ho ban de di kan. Cause oni ahoban ba aduane kontimi tibi fa hye wano. Kenya say sori ahomache. Ya ba tranfi han ma yeba be kasa no. Enti no amamwo na yebu no school hia, nsuo hia, bibia hia, ba de di kan e security. Ne say anti say wo hwemu a ye wonyuma bebre medical kan sectors, ministries, departments, agencies ni ade. But so hwema security agencies no a door so sine adwuma bia wo Ghana. When I start to calling them, you call the police, you call the military, you call the navy, you call SEPs, you call prisons, we count them. By a teacher, and that's a teaching a one sector pay, GS. So that's here. But when you make mention of security, we have about 15 sectors. Your money security is on boy on by your mom here issues, or mom here prison force, or mom here near Namontre, so interior and defense, or more. Say be free about Tiba to wash your so. But we're home buying. Your friends are external aggression. There you get the military, internal affairs, you get the police. So what? Yes, it's your security idea. I idea here. And you must so adding pa bako any security work. It is security for no more dom hoa ba. Say soldier for police for dom hoa ba so bobo ho ban no. Omo ni pay di kan si di buo mo first. Obi o ra bo ho ban say me makro for me to nhye so. Me mo obi mfira bonti mekum. Wo fa buo masa nipa no. Na wo twetwe no. Die nie they will be saying, "Man, the Akoba Nyan say here and the entire securities and the donor is being attacked." Me the support boy in DC. I'm telling you. I do. Me say me the support boy. That be me the support me the boy in DC. Nancy Akra, I'm communication director. Some of you want to say about catch a for no. So I'm bad them more. Can't do a soldier for a person. Want to say about kind.
So soldier for binu.
What's it? Soldier for binu. Bin mo no wanti mi a kyerɛ sɛ kwame na kwabra ho ti omu nyina saa kasare ya ne e kan binum na obobodin wo amodin di a egira mo cause me magye sɛ a meka ho ana wo so bagye sɛ wo ka ho ana obi o esu ya ni bia bagye sɛ a meka ho ana so that say you hang them on suspense. It is why amodin na ka binum a you are referring to the entirety saa na asɛm ne tie enti no enkopem sɛ amanyɔfo no ya ne titiri wo mo di mu akotere ndisi adi buo be me security for no sa na beba na wutie o frɛ security analyst bia na na di nkombo Adams Bona ma sheda ante de ba ku me ni bi etwa amasum na he was talking about say soldier man no at the verge of death na obobo ne mpanifu bi din to pese o kyerɛ sɛ saa din no obobo no sɛ obobo cause external aggression bi na aba na obobo mpanifu din a na wo pese mpo mpanifu no kura no ye beto hye no so Menene nyadwen 1,000 times. Mo, that's the nice question. People be said nice questions. You pray for me metabas. Questions him there. Who tie? Yeah. One of the two Adams Mahama wo Denchem Boasi. Ya bunu kono just like that. Nipa sa wo cross situation bi mu a ya wo life is at stake. So, je wo ye bia no nya enya wo pe na ade yi. Ono nipa no doubt ne say onye sojani. Ya bunu kuno. What will I do for you to know some you sojani? Apart from some tag bomb home, name tag ya no abo ken. Ma describe myself be still you are beating me. Mo sheda say omu nimpa so me asoja fo. Bo mo sheda say yen sheda nka so mo nya asoja fo. Ne mu wom nku wom. And I have to prove to you. Me kire ma chi akwan. Cause me nya soja ni a edina me bobo no mitimi mo. Na say wo se security na ntina na me no da bia me nya platform si ya na me de chepa mamu presenters ni producers say. O man no ya sheda asue na ya tese security no. Asue bia no wo mo da no wo mo kasa. E de ma asue no. Say wo frɛ honorable Randy Uswa Mankwai. Better. Cause on the okasa with the heart of the country. Nipa na wo frɛ no. Ya wo so security analyst no. Or one political affiliation. But on na di ma wo huni. But NPP. Otai. Etra me see on na ne hoji. Enti wuti me hu so ye. Hwan na o man no so nyin ntum. So a security expert. Omo na dia toto omo so na mo so amofro na security expert. Onya adwuma bia ma o man no mo na baso. So a security expert. E bia school bi no wakọ no wi no se ma ko school ma wi. No nche so a security expert. He hasn't put it into practice. Onya adwuma bia ma Ghana fo huni. Enti dia no oka mpo na mka say situation at stake now no. Soja for ya bu omo. We don't bring in situation conditions say I don't know you sit down call you sit dabi. Adina ba no di kan take eno. Many pa no yes ade no hu say wa anya ade ni yie. Na mo wu kan na ode bibi be sheba sa wo dey justify the asie no a wa am situation no. Ti wo kasa ada na say wo bon mpanifo din a. Tell me kasa wo so honorable Randy wo frɛ no no. O ka sa asem no. Onka. Obetake issue ni say the city. Honorable, how are you, Randy? Or the Randy? Okay. So, Chief Amankwa, or the Randy. Okay. So, what I say? Na, what a issue, na will be of the DSC say no. And yet, and Tichina Biro, no be a fair no. Ya should I say, ya but discuss it security generally. A quanfasi or Mojuma, so Pocobas as a buying, and the Sani Maniama no, a who here na. Because no ya bro bi kuno na se wo ka bibi kura ma obi so baby wo se o mo kuro mo ni tumi so mo yesa adwuma na ono so wo hye no nkran so onso nye bi what I say what on me chora say until we tackle the issue from what has happened now ya bu soja fo hwe mama ka bi nchiro nipa bi hyeda se yenye sei na soja fo no bu mfu na polka election kura e ba be yi e maso. Because back door, yeah, from him. So only this for the big casa. Say, Omodi a chow omokra. Omodi a chow omokra. So, Omodi a chow, but they say, I'm say, back door. Omodi a chow omokra. Eti, I agenda beer. Nipa binum ashishe. Say, I said, and Yantisa padia. Suja ni udo seko kasoja ni. Or no question, when we say soja ni, the Yamuno for Yahundi. We are dying, they will come to you. Baba battalions abatako. Et no omni party se ne besie. Ya nya na fa basa mra. No man no yasumdue e wono entu up na elections no kura no e maso nipa bi tirimu po eno no. So na de America kusinya se sa soja fo yo mabu wo mo prepom basa yi. Ena ma soja fo se bibi nti.
Aka 1 minute na o si for me.
Bibi nti o mo ko fo mo. Wa kwesa ada kwesa ti o me dika eba ma ya mu twaka akwa mu asa de kwane ne dia opese wo kura ugina no mesere nko ebi so aka no kura ne break na pai mpo de break mpai na sa dia wo ye no me bufu na me de bowa so obi beti me bufu me de bufu na me de car no bowa emra ne mbedi ba wo no wo situation ti sen wo na mbebu wabu enti bon ho ban dwane so enti so wo ye wedi dia me kasa ne se me ka besi nam de ma no si ne se soja ni na wo ye ne saa no okutatuo bia emra no se civilian ya wo saa men tutuo no na ne bufuro de to no bo wa wo wi no ne mra me koin enti ade na wo kwa akoye saa de no ama bia ne bubafuo na odi tuabo wakum Ghana for ese emra duru se mre me ka me nko a ka mra duru se kwa fe tembo so de ani se de si yo mo na se na ese we have to empower our security men. Let's empower them. So on kukura unamu a on tutu mu unam.
Your time is up. Your first 10 minutes is up. Mesa ba su bi. I know you bomb.
Any expect our dema we no or no condemn say we be now one political affiliation. Calling say also man kwana yato abadia mano no. When do any political affiliation? Or just committee I did not to any knowledge in security no. One dear Bombay catch it to any political affiliation. Do no back can yenti questions all busaro no one left from the right. Metia na metie panoma ferema na nanya mwanwa. Obia ye to abama na wulusu a. O consequence catch us one bonti empamo wa say ya na bekasa. No akase enipa bi hihye akire. Na say ye wa ban a won ye de taxes nyina show. We were securities. We were experts. Ye full information a day in day out. Na say nipa bi timi hihye akire ma ye do security ye say na ban wa bon pa. You don't deserve to rule the nation. Pede Bombay ni MPP kan. Ye to abama ban so ma yen hihye ba bia ayi o ma asase dey. Na hwe ba bia achima pagya ada. Achima pagya nkoso akonwa. Ana ban na manu security se won ko bo ho ban o.
What shows are buying the man?
Minia, and no interview papa no wa wuti minim se wan tie bibia fine. I was say government ana manu a soldier fo no e de boss asase no ho ban. Eti wo wu agenda no kura busa ne se government am wa soldier fo anka asase de se nya soldier fo ne de boss asase ho ban. Eti ka wo be ko police command. Na police command na amma nipa because of your command won't DC in the dissect and I'm bisect no e wo ho. Eti ka DC you no be monitor activities e wo ho.
District Security Council.
Thank you. Etu ka se papa nye chebini no ye achimni no ya.
Edu what sir?
Edu abro.
Hey.
Edu wo wuti we minu mienu a wuti we. Wo nya access to aban for security member wo japade ho ban da. But we are talking about achima pagya. How you continue to achieve. Until when we are talking about family and friend government, and until our money say ya, a so resource will be na yehuni. Because ube come nana wafa sibi, aye security wani, nana be ya panti awa banumu. And until waka ya ni a man cry, ya trade the consequences I wom. Na expert ni catch that would say. On mine, a woman who say, in terms of security, you were 2 ministries. You were defense ministry, and you were interior ministry. So, defense ministry in the military in this near Banning, and so interior ministry in the police on the Osha internal affairs. And take election democratically elected president, and your military, and your duru of mine. Not your moo ye, and not your who ye, a yow. Any jidia akufu wadu amana wura amanfo
address him as the president akufu
nanado adi amana wura security mu a amanfo nya jidie wo security mu because o hwe ne ma ekosi aya waso no any report to a committee na wonu ate ye no de baaye no anfa commission no report na anya adwuma na amanfo hu no se so obi shatade kura so ye police na we soja ni na ye hwe no mienu so wunya banya wonye honest wonye no kwafo na se won ni manfo nyini ni a resource obehu na bi na wohuni
se Ghana fo nyina na do ni
kiti kura ade we anyo nwanwa first time in Ghana history as civilians etimia compound soldier fo enye police fo achi wo mabo matete wo matade
David and then me kai was it North Interest or South Interest some time ago soldier for me soldier ni bi ko omkunu
North Interest
soldier ni bi ko ho
enye first time no
soldier ni bi ko ho akoye den
do ko ye de minimum but the minimum say civilian and soldier da
enti
do ka the first time me ba you say TFOT wa onipa moro yakuba na oba o kan say wa hwe obi tikam no osia no de ko minimum say civilians and soldier da obi aso obi kokun obi but o ka the first time na say dey be that the person me ba hu hwe
me pato so tie dia me ka wa ma me platform me mfa me tam tie dia me ka no wonim say civilians akum soldier ni bia e wo so interest no enye o aban extension mom ko bo aban tieni ye we are talking a situation whereby or he na dia tum say aban na di nkrofo ya mame na amanfo na bu aban na wo di nkrofo no ma ye no mra so ateki action ana ye ka sanso teso na wo ka nya aban na suma police ni no and soldier ni no akọ eye we base se wonima me ka story ni pa eye we base anu okọ ye onko de bia ko jiska ana fe du okọ ye mu se wo wi no ye no na be no wa ha se ena de oba so ya ma ska wa twituo anu mu chi ne bo no eye different from aban sanction we ya wo see national security na ammo mu military e boss ase ne ho ban anu man for say enough of this action is enough. A different until I say first time in Ghana history come catching will be a sampa a that way a buy sanction way because my pen commander online kwa Ghana web kwa city and city for and then look as NGTV no mu ye. If we are talking about a buy sanction next one man for not taking a buy decision not to chai no more the woman rush woman because they have no faith in a buy no until they are all kind of make and so yet them. Unless democratically elected president, at is an Anakufuado president. Nesse Umanfo, yes, I will say you're worried. The money you're worried didn't say, who will communicate at studio high country and say, and Crophobin as a sassy pest womanum yakukuku. Na abat woman so. Sabe, Minan me what fancy P2 new class and we won't cut that. Because it doesn't make sense, say, a binos abat to our masua, one benefit, and ya bino. It is a decision you will be back yes about woman and can you abandon the better decision. And yet then no opposition in no person back on your mono. One day I said young castle man in your governable. Now young suspend the election. Yes, suspend the elections and you whine a better answer. It is the same way to communicate a car. No say a bind a fail or mino and not to what they will put a dominia dying. Minia Sadiana some military for 1 year, you know. That's my opinion. Say and Nessibia, woman, she woman, woman, dear senator. Sadia Nessi, say a BCB, almost cry, woman, dear chum, so that I didn't want to make a camel.
So they make us a mocano back door, also they are about
say your statement.
And then Masuja for Murahama wants some problem for MSI.
Educating for this.
And no more Murahama problem MSI. So anymore.
Sabio, Cornus, Obiako, the idea quite a channel. Yes, which in a more bashing crying and you how come say so near a bad fan with 20 can yes won't go baby. Whether it's lawful or not, 2
wrongs, I make you one right, Anna. Me patcho,
it doesn't make one
make you one right.
It doesn't make
it's the first step on battle of patcho to Jamaica. Who invite him, yes, and make your opinion, and yet you open. What do this is not
opinion? As I said, you have a problem, bro. Mine.
I will control my opinion. You have no right to control my opinion.
I said, opinion, I do have bro. Mine. It's what was a moderator.
This is my opinion, my own opinion. I
saw retract that statement, you know.
Statement now
retract it.
I've invited you to come and make your statement or opinion.
You okay, but my soldier for 2 years this year. Told him what. I want to be there before Baura.
But me patro say o man sa ashi we yan koso a and can send me no better how can be wouldn't and wow sister
retract it.
Kingdom FM mu host no Kingdom FM and then 3 weeks fire service for bi anko bono one fan police station what you want them when do onye nipa when millions of civilians and soldiers for any police for intimidate me patro tie them me can I will never don't say that I will never.
That's all retract it. No opinion, this whole opinion.
Stand that I won't catch them some retract.
Host to be our platform.
Because if you have any problem, you have to disassociate yourself from it.
We are not continuing from you again.
And I'm catch until you bet me catch some milk and I will do that.
Also Odine say Teku Daniel. Obata
Oh, Debbie, she said, because we are never me buy the first statement I make here. I never want what you say. Yeah, but I never had a platform my basu. So if some can't be not a big beggar station, you that this associate.
No, we did not matter this association. Retract it. Retract it. Retract it. Retract it. And yet, Obia, any one in us in yet. I saw retract it. Any one in us in yet. Retract it. Platforms.
Try to control Fatama.
If you never control me, we are you are not being fair to me. My cousin, when there was one man cannot kindness, I want yes, me explain yes, my kind discussion here. What am I kind saying this for the chassis? I say what are they? Some my cousin, yeah, can baby, can say free. Give me opportunity to explain it. And you will not bet you say, Jamaica, men retract and as an obey explain actually.
Me edi kan metia kura aye tunfo se tu ni kuro na ye nyina ye so na na ne na machia etifo nyina na machi asa achia PPP fo a mo wo Ashanti region nyina na ma yanka yo mo se okun no edi mo nyina nso mo sapo mo nso na ye organize ye ho se de ye organize ye ho na meba issue on board mo so no the medical aka eni se in fact, me can who know social media. No. Now I am say a fake news. And you call other sites. Echo her said, you mean who? So I'm pass a yampa na say a yampa. Now a bra me who said credible platforms be a report to our videos near the account. Yamushim. Sainty, so I'm passing you soon be in free.
Then over to us, but Mammy, I can do the presence of a Christian Okukwajima, or a social commentator. Because you have insurance manager, or I must say West. And that's the memory district no free.
Thank you, boss.
All right, no boss.
Said you all can. Ebra, me who you know.
As you said, we heard each other.
Me, now, you really can't catch you behind say. I dear course, no. And can you cry? In fact, say you can't security as a man so far. Said enough. You know, start saying. Nam yemashi mi biom so say issue here by say enja politics say dey ya adia na sua de ewom anase asem na poti na nkasa na be yira na yira mimi no mienu etemamfo no ye na ye ho be kire ye na e be sre say wo hwe video na ubohu say e premeditated omo cause omo ko attack soldiers no planning na omo planning that because ebi kuta hammer ebi kuta dua ebi kuta ma eze law and order omo nya madwen say omema na akoso e wo bi omo na sabi wi ase mo fa bi kan asem bi kire me o se meku akume ho de nya mensem se na omo madwen say omo be ye de omo ye no omo ye wie na za ko mu gina ho ebra soja fo ne bae na nke mu se di anko mo ye mema wo ti ase e koso too much na se uko hu soja ni wa asase so a so pa say de ye wo no na ye mra ye wo say asiana ye ka security issue a the first soldier need nas as bi so nkyere say obobo asase no ban ho unnim anything about security enti hu soldier ni so wo she soldier ni atade name tag bom ene Ghana ye hu ye soldier fa atade ye hu atade ni bo Ghana army bo fa ni din bo fa fully armed
na ko fo bi so tini na bi wa bra onye soldier ni me ka ba ku bi abuchi no bo asase
these people are fully armed soldiers are omo ma amu hu say omo ye soldier for kasa omo kan bi omo kan say mu gidi say omo ye soldier for mpo a ka mu chichire omo these people tore the uniform omo attack the state uniform na show omo na nye omo nye soldier nye onu na ogina na ne hu omo omo no na wo attacking the military uniform is the state and I saw people tore this uniform. There's a total disregard for authority na me no mienu se nyane e chekron for ha no say police ni twema say police ni yanka nje zo me chekron for ha ma me no mienu be police ni say omra me boy na na yenya akukuduro fa dua fa hama fa ma ni say kwa attack the security of the state ya rehosem na dia na yen say yonkofo bi omunim de so hwe soja fo na chi a ne nkofo bi hye traditional cloth me gidi say omugidi wom say omoye bia omoye part of the traditional system is nkomu hunu say oman na ye attack no sankofo no nyina emra no bia no no my so omo some kind of local authority they can attack the state or a mistake a big mistake
omunya benefo ta obochi
sanete
ye du mo di koye do mo ye
sanete obi ye na bi so kodin se hunu bia na akose e bia traditional apparel bi and say he to show say bia or some local authority bi e warning e dey ma sankofo ni nyina so I'm very careful because the South Soldier for me, you imagine say, Omu tutu, I because a soldier for any ye say. What you say, Major Muhammad Yeno, the same thing. Omu so you soldier ni pa, but they decided to kill the man, burn the body.
What you say,
what you say, Sanyo mana ekosono, obi bia woni trim, say bia obeye so obeye so on mine no yentra ho, e mo mo say o man ma ye.
You can't say
na said na minya e ka say minya bombe ye say ne no so obubodi no na ye no media memfo so sa because ye bi bia no security issues no me sure say soldier for no on be home training so ye you just don't talk. You can let the people know you are an army officer, and if they will kill you, let them kill you. Because the moment you start talking about leaders no, then it means that you even say you push you a little forward. You can tell them where your leaders are, and the moment they attack your leaders, the state is falling. What you say? Even if they will kill you, let them know this is my uniform, this is me. If you want to kill me, I'm going to die for it. Either than that, the state will fall. What you say? Difficult, but their training will let them know that they are security officers who are supposed to know better. Minya omo yes adie no bibi kito bi ba ya dey feel say soldier for craba ya ties. Whoever is inciting them, whoever is behind them, say ahemfo, say your opinion leaders, so say they should be very careful.
You have to arrest them all, not just matter
and then
be careful.
I sure say I want for say a soldier for free crew ni mansa. Soldier for miru na call you. Some soldier for you imagine somebody 20, 100 na call for assassin, so they could have done that. But they took only 2. Until the first only 2 require does not mean that 20. Me some the first 20 even if it is 20
embargo da also punya retract embargo da also
even if it is 20
yes retract embargo da also
in their own wisdom realize that they will need that number. I don't miss that number the call. What you say?
Embargo da also
mamu me fa sa anyoma no
embargo so kasa retract
what you say? Ti be se minua
e kasa o ma o say bisi bi o mu kasa se
minua panyi me mesro de ya kan say retract say ebi obi aye bibi yen eye sabi me de me tu say me kwanye eye dam sam to attack the military, to attack the security of this state, a madness. It is to say because omuni protection. What stops you from somebody surrender? Then you call in for reinforcement of police to come and arrest them. Say you believe they are not soldiers. Now most uncle for you will be from you go to the police and expect the military to come and support you. Very sad.
Yeah. Very sad. And they Daniel Teko and he's a member. He's the regional secretary for Progressive People Party (PPP).
Yeah, it for especially Manso for me I'm coming from Manso to.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. Now, Mamma Sakonia was there. Me more one cassa or Jumura Basso. Okay. Yesterday, I think, say Ghana, Uneska, the essay, William Bois or Mano, a piana or for Eddie, or yen. Now, me there be a papa, my friend, or a common sense prophet. Sana, my friend, papa, what me say, Drew baby, I drink Cassia, papa, no way. Oh, me there be a many TV, so because papa, we dear. What me say, Indiana, media money, the air strong cocra, there be all man on wedding. Na futu na de bi oba otu ye no yensi emfa bi film se be ya betim de ade aboye bra boss we free ho no de me kan nyina na se Ghana ha no ye ni o ma bia ai betim ayere akom Ghana no ye ba kope but ye besre se ya na minnim se politics na ye no na ya na ye nim you se you how can say military person be about one area na empo what am I find say civil no say military person be yadi na masa enya ya di mrase say bibi na sana tie dia say ne na ye kura obi aba ba wia wa de kura na wa che no kura no yesi duru ba bi anya de mu no yesi fa ne police station na mra anya de eni na a whole military person also about area wa ba ya de bi anya enti no ma fa mrase because me hunu ba ko o ma bunama
Emoja bram kra. Masa, it's too bad. Oma benyi wo me enti Adams Muhammad ye I see ya my check ajo civilians dia fan to your for. Wait me say Adam Mama owu you know ya fan to your for afutu bie no e fan.
Say president kobo ma baso.
What I say afutu bie no e fan mu. There's a need say ye mesere. Oh Ghana edu ba bia amra no amafo bi di show mo sam. Me mesere for now say senior. Womo say no omo yes ade ni nyina no. Omo yes ade ni nyina no. There's a need say do omo babukum. What I say?
No him kro so say assassin ni dia no see e
civilian.
You so him for so no.
Say who please ni bi wo say ade ba ko mienu bi o ye nye. Na say wo de mra no hye no nsam e hye wo nsam. Na wo ye nyambra sam a sama mo yes ade ni nyina no. Yes e di mo babukum na ye reference point. Dachi bia e be reference ankofo no wabusuafo no e be da ho sa ma wo ma aba abeto say wo na wo ta ma wo nya opportunity no. Say na wo de ye military person bi na aka ho. Ebeduru be wan hwe kura wo be kwa akopɛ opportunity bi kura wa ba mu kura na say adwuma mu kura because of ankasa o bad record ere e ho nti kura hwe oba no yede enya advantage eti stress for now say omo ne nyina ba either NDC MPP omo no one ene yede ye wo mu ene e best politicians ne say don't forget say election year we hear peace you hear peace because omo na so ndwe ni mu a yentimi yede antinam edi hwe no obi a say ne members kutupa. Say, oh, I won't advantage. I must the bonny way. Won't advantage at the bonny way. As you mean, say no. Military for ya mo, ya buomu no mu ya. Ma mu pum mo na dia fa so para mo yere munya. Ada mama wu ye no. Wo mo mu kun no dia fa so no ma yere munya ye.
Say omo tu from krum rente wo nyina omo dwane.
That was so ko say ho silent. One hwe kro ba sa kra development e se ko kra no. Say bia nya DC bia o wa na ni be dia. O hwe kra bi be de be ka.
Oh, you may must me, Johnny.
What I say, Abaka, it's your best. Yen platform, na say, ye kasa, a do baby, some ya. We need to go straight. Yen kasa, I didn't cost on your day, and yet, and it was so because in your radio, I carry with you. I carry with the moment I'll be cancer via. A be inside time and for one we and a video moon Jimmy day. Aqua. It doesn't say, ye mubia, ye by any opportunity. Yan cannot obey ya, or who's ampa. Idea we are coedie. It's what me action where they every home. San Quesa, and I say, Yam 2 or more to pa. Let's see inside 2 or more. A bedroom baby, no have create me a coffee house. Yet, yes, I was always here to watch your man peninsula. And then they will be a better. What I say? It's master because they okay. And they will be, and you will be a bit more about a bedroom baby, a minute a bedroom for. It means your opportunity here. Yes, I can hear. Man can hear. That's it, no be bet me there. Abam so. It's mesre and penny for. Any young kasa ya communicators. Ye your opportunity nessa made the BIC and kasa. Adiana nye. Adana Ghana and do baby as a thrust and pass him, sir. And I him as some na ye babecano. And you quasi oh, ye case a party intino, yantiasam. A negative cry because of your party, ya can negative, sir. I didn't carry weight to be no. When your opportunity, Massa, can some no condemn some no, send you one on way and embrassam about social media, me say. But Papa, who so any back on, which is a no, and then any year thing, because oh, there be me a military person, If you walk away, become a card in any other. So I'm not no crime minimum come here and come.
I couldn't be any the nesse woo.
Ya bunam and Nadi. Ya puni ama ba Ghana for.
No one who may make what the bonnet penny dino. What's my one penny dino? I near do. Oh, soldiers for no master. See a cassette, ya would draw soldiers for service. Bear 1 month.
You listen, Papa.
Ghana, dear, Papa. See, I hear cassette, okay, oh, soldier for man, we are doing a got a few 1 month. And that's what I'm striker. Never be sick. And easy, it's your best say. So, being your opportunity, so you're soldier. Now about area, sir, or you be encourage that soldier, no.
Who know about home by?
Because when you say, senior, say me man so, saying your soldier for be so, me found some way money to be near the idea. Massa, to draw for no only in a crown, we don't baby see. Because, and I also senior say, I already is wrong, a bedroom baby, no, soldier naming you be a papa, soon go froth. Because one many years, the two babies one who was secure on one. I was secure on one. Adam Muhammad, the Biamica, me say, Tenko Kutatun, and Kutatun, and what trigger, what trigger back who cried the first ram in Doan. What I say, as you are a soldier for no because the 2 year the amawi. Yet the amount say, I will ban a credit, audition to him. Yet a mother. It won't even find a beer. I think also a military person who could that was what and fire. And yes, I can be on back now for every day. I did defend more than be. But because of a
and the manager for health insurance, I must say, West District, and
the American I'm saying security Diana, sorry. The America cuisine and say Ghana bang. Oman and Nibripa. A drew baby, said you seen Nra Mashada Samobo, a soldier for a pre-prom, and media said, pay, also made shots here, Mekana CPP, a MP, PPP, Nika say, as a politician. I didn't know question of Mekano, oh, dear, Konya, my and this, you know, offer to ya. Oh, dear, to ya, almost me say, almost that's on bay, because you are more Casa chairman, some of kind. Was it they will cause security in the country? So that's here. Ombe cause security. Ombe cause the acts of killing people inside and outside near Dina. Until we are near in the election day, and that's a month. It's young may be a soldier for the power of Maswa and Kanyangwa, Minya, and Yangwa, send Nipa the Sanipa, wouldn't say a soldier positive. Wouldn't say a beautiful soldier for a quest of Mobro. Unya do sakaba ku say kuya o munya beba so na nka akobo no wo do say kokano usuro e eye premeditated action say dey wan kasa odi kan no o mo prane say yan use sojafo ne yan show mobufuo as we continue to infuriate them no they will strike na basabasa si so no me show no enu na ekoso no enu tisi na me say we na asie no one nyesi e kan say kekene no no wuja na akọ hen say ohene no kura asase no okram say ene dia no say eche no ohene no okram say asase ne dia no say eche no say bi otafrache ehifunu bi no aman no asoso omuso too much o enu nyina ka bina ma we ni ba no ohene a wo no ya wotu mama so a asudue ni nkoso ntina wote wo no ohene a say on dia wa no so ba koso violent obayi sati ni pa me akobu asojafo ene ade dia onye obi akunya nkoso transbium no fatati here kan na aban no omo say president no na dia sojafo no ba wo kai a mama tam ono no dia sojafo etu hene mikaya sa ayi that area wa hini bi onkopamo no ya mu ye interview ko say me ba she koko bi ase mi she duam ni ade mama tu sojafo be 1000 na kopamo hene no so that say asase dia asase ya kan no e o man dia wo na aban na pe na oja ma say custodians no him from hweso because me kai pass you go just back mo time no emre bidui ama odi tumi asase du tumi na ahimfo nyina oji from nsem enti da bia time aban betumi akase nsase no decide enya be kwa control na wa hene kro no owuro ya tie wo no na dia ma ba yan pere san faso due ma enti dia kan sa wo hene a pe asumdue enti me dia arrest must go on na sa arrest so ko so anya say no ase a chew na ya be kan boko na ejao let's prosecute them.
Yes, Bombay is a member of the NPP communication team. Mr. Daniel Tekuzi, regional secretary. Megiri say ende bibia de yi
ehu adum etimi abedru heje heje me hoye pa na mo maka
on you want send home be because
asante kasa me hoye ene medidi ame eyepe
me obia no we come dinner na ye
respect yourself and comport yourself. If you respect yourself and comport yourself, you never tell you that.
Mr. Teku Daniel, the regional secretary for the Progressive People Party PPP. Papa Kosindo the party no. And also Ewofia. Menu share that, but time I buy no baby. I like it. I like the way. Or remain calm. I be Mrs.
Medas boss.
My main catch for say Christian Opukwa Jimasoso and I'm concerned. That's the name I have.
Teku and Tiono.
Okay. Teku. Thank you. Okay.
Let me Duncan Abombe.
Oh, okay. Did he Opayi?
My boss.
Let's say enough yanko.
Medas CP manin campaign chairman oni obejafo. Special producer na o freyen no ene gin ho pa ko fa so kasa na na shinkran ani shira no
Fana la Kanatana Barhabi Katira and Fila FM 89.3 of your radio. Then Ka Awunoma Katirane, Radio Tiffin and Indam, Kianami, Unkole. Naya Bidome, Probleme, Sabovaya, Probleme, Filumona Villa, Alamona, Tola, and Calypso Campola, Fila FM Sasha Giamona. Kashale, the Ghana Zolam Pa, Muni, Jimalana. Dr. Muhammad Fawumia, one in the money, in Tortilla, in Tortilla, man, sorry, in Swap Chow, the Liberty Amfan, man, sorry, in Ghana Zaza, Liberty Amfan. Don't go on Mokandama, the Jimal and Masan, exactly as the Mama, example. Marhabia. Yeah, Upo Chaki Chanti, Wabu Party, Dagarona, you're not into the manifest Nigeria. Look what they side of food
to boy no to manifesto mauna tiniya zancan na wani yako ka gana nan 14 na adudan kwa kufuwa katalan kana government ne bokati yan nan batin nan shan waso an later manifesto mane the mala part the bata tumpile tiyela so kamza an later manifesto mane ka boktuma katutum tra kana election kayane tun manifesto 2016 manifesto ma tra yele ne ngono katiyan so tumpile tilih latin da yel shamma tisir nan le dan ka tabor accounting woman Ghana nama anda yana annan umma arato na so dan ka te wohe tin tum shere yuma na ho sunsu first part mbaba to ka tintum dimboma second part ma yara tibian tumne kayane dinaya dama dinabana trayan tin nan one constituency one ambulance tinaya ama de bosi ne tomana be free SHS de bosi ne dinaya pumpong se kat malang pamse de za one district one factory one village one dam Deza, one district, one warehouse. Dum tum shelton pilmaza planting for food and jobs. Deza, Napco. Shelton Noza, first drakani. Tinang Lenzale. Duzo take at the pamsele. Tiang pamsele me, Kalam Pili, Tumpala. Tumpala ma kanyen to asenta tumpo. Dembe manifesto. Din pili nana kufuado an lihi zancen education ta bansum yato o yelea ne yamang ne ta bihima bambe senior high school ma buzoya 1.2 million bamba nama na babadma bakalar banyan yo senior high school fees ma duzo katanin free education amma Benna free education wo yakabiyenja yakab tibor bichan bienzalla namani benzan namani betibol la betore inchan university ne bonaba nana ko fwado ne se kat bo sole kat bihima ton chan university wala sole kat yambo dama abangon ko ton yo senior high school fee on ton yo university fee oko toy duzo seka government male nzari mbollarama nte biho ne badma ka beton yo sukuru fees mo university fees ma ben yo na national service na ka yum yine garampai ka benyetuma la la mo benton yo l'absent government so tibola be so do biane kaman abi wonna senior high school kala biane ko enzane on jangton tenen bo loan man to be ma ko yo lala school fees ma for university ma ko katoncha den kat yene to bobor to cha so ko jiya zan don mi don obaka labazo so dinazin nan Ghana dinazin, and we are one of the first countries in Africa to African one polo tangban chel linda and pile la banma kada first but one of the few countries in Africa this sort of program so din sung to be ma pam be me chang ma mana the zoka dada on the ayale be pam won chang university say ka bo universities man ba Ghana dama bizan won chang to cut enough spaces say ka to build new universities, new campuses nda yel dal won Ponta Male Veterinary College timborte extendly to become a university of agriculture in the north here, and many. So we will have to expand. Take to expand the university places. But one of the key policies, them the manifesto man in Yela, Tinyan soon to be more with loans. Kapiton Chang Sina. But what is them Yela Bokabayan Jina Ntije loan? But national ID card. Don't kubalama. Amar national ID card. Denaya. Angel, Bian Yana Jim Sonako ta guarantee ka antibi yotin jego pension. The Zokatra Yana, so comes the Aninja national ID card. So Anya Sukurbia Kanai Kabor loan na Chang University. Boka Angela and national ID card. So that Timbang Nyangwani Yakabi Amala card. So comes a card ma amala unique number. Timia card ma na number ma. This how your loan ma your one part. Timmi when something of your loan ma. Beura. Hey, this Wukati Ghana za. So comes a gay national ID card because the Bukata ma yaya. The mar amfani nante so comes a. Ama national ID card ma wonder can it. Anto yana come to gay loan. Ka no, say ka boss on a coat is garanta. Ama pumpo national ID card bien. So anto jirena du konko de saya katita loan ma ka Tonchang University ma. So pumpo dun song nerva pam. So the first policy mayen to say mbalama dem pai ayi districts pam bien Ghana kaka district hospital. Zongo Manchang Cherponi Lalanyale in Changmyang that Sohalama Bedalma and Dabala Baka District Hospital Beura Tatale Baka District Hospital. You know, so about Tudungo Kamam Pishina Yopo districts Nka district hospitals. Nana Kufado Yalia to manifesto one. The district comes out Dinka Hospital, Tiamela District Hospital. Then one district hospital. Dembalama, one district hospital. Dituma Pumpilia hospitals Maza, the same design. Designs ma banaya. So the BNU inshallah contractors man in Pili. Tumama mang sane bende tom pile katinai na yuno drangel pam ama the biasole one district one hospital ma dinkana ka yina mani anya timala new policy national rental assistance scheme katabora bor bonyale tibi bima pam banna sukuru kanye tuma kabor be haidu ka ba du raya jim advance rent advance beula be pam kong na rent advance ma kada jir wahala na pam rent advance sometimes ni yuma yi advance yuma rent advance ma tumalla because bima pam anapil latuma banabe yuagba jim 2 years advance yaka anya 2 years advance so tiyana amartuma ka ananto inyor ayo binyo ka to yi inyo rent ma amara tuma government ni yo advance ma nta ka ti didactor a Europe ni nzante banma government so national rental assistance scheme ma then song to be ma pam so that once amara national ID card ka address ba gba biane ka tuma gba biane ka to njura dama anka tuma ngona ko to je la assistance ma but tuma ngom biane ka to deductor la rent ma from your salary then anya la loan ma nzan yo tinan yan yo tibian zanta tinan yin nin yo the government nin yo landlord ma mun su du ma yo advance ma ka tranger asani so kamza ninye de amfani dan pa ata nyela tinyan son driver nama Ghana wo sham to bondela transport sector recapitalization project bonyale anyate driver nama bapam taxi drivers trotro nama bus drivers ayanda binyanda lori dama wahala pam dama bakallare dinyanda loro dozo second hand kabada so only to lawyer ma pam to buses ma ni to taxi ma the pam kurgame katiyariya to pompo Ghana mo tin nangti one district one factory to mama tinyala factories kamang VW ni Toyota nam kanna stake nam share kanna be nang labas so tien malla lor na ma Ghana timmal lor na mo Ghana sai ka ta kwa lor na mo amma to drivers ma pam kala alagre ben yin zangin yonda lor pala dozo ka government yana sai ka government kena inti yana to tin chaka benang releasing be high purchase so the basim sina hala amara lor kurga ka bora lor pale anton zanga lor kurmate ka bata lor pale ka den tum na kayor bera so dinnan lala har anya driver kaka lagre anton da bus be taxi be trotro palle through a lease timborshan leasing scheme so aloro kurma don nananga deposit ka jelo palle ka nyala made in Ghana loro palle kayangi so den song to driver nam pam zungo shelbanam nang yellow factory beura zungo and this never bolla legalize Okada business beura to then only Okada business ma and the use national transport recapitalization project mo ka banang no Okada mo bunda to on da yellow ba dranko somba katitiba lala leasing policy mo ntiba yellow namo dranko so beso bishaw nam borba leasing bus baby leasing taxi baby leasing bone trotro namo ever no is a better option katiba rather than the risky motorbike binyar accidents pam so tinam munsane policy wo transport recapitalization policy wo den ton song so comes out because den ta option anya driver anya motor rider ka bor bus anton jele ka yor bela bum palle za palle den nan lala anya ka gana za dinye accidents ma ba den boy dama loro kulle ati yan banka break failure bewla ka gearbox failure ka tie the tie so to bolla recapitalization project mo ka drivers banka ba lawyer beton da lawyer so that leasing policy ma nan sai then policy temara to zongonam Ghana every region tiene to bomb bangsum region comes out tiene mela model senior high school in each of the 16 regions zongonam model senior high school very solid senior high school in each of the 16 regions. Glakana na adodan kwa kufuado yale. So inshallah, hospitals ma ba regional hospital, new regions ma za ninja be regional hospitals ka so kamza nang to anya ti artist ma creative arts ba pulo. Ami ti na kin bihinet pa sarma ba marbang sampam zan kyan yela yelbo ne acting ne buna. Ba man kala lagre only north studios can recording studios tibima bin mari ya na bayiya ya ka bayan chanti yin recording studios can den ka ti yana sai ka government kana ne private sector ya ka ti me recording studios ma za yin zan Accra Takrare Kumasi Tamale so that bima ben borba recorded by music ben don chan nang recording ma kai de ba tuna ba chan to spend it to belare ndi belare nang studio no so comes an ton ke 1 hour 2 hours kai na ka so lan pe nang o recording kai na so laraka tilere creative arts ma poloma na to something na chama ba mara bang some pam zan chane music na bana poloma so stian songba me with recording studios that were tontum betuma this is manifesto ma never palam diane na wannan yiko Ghana zanin dire amfani
insha Allah na wani yiko Ghana za sanin ti da amfani to amma dan nan man yaksan pam manifesto ma fu yara yeto ala kam voila yampun nan shalma karchana
yes
da family no ko no ja
that's right
ka vorta ka karchana I can at least senior high school ma but tell don the man come and be na the senior high school
to
kula ko yan no changi
yeah magri
so do to ta ba ka da maya I'm na the senior high school I'm to connect the student Cham University.
That's right.
To loan man in Yasin Mashi and Yamia Brimbo, I can't design a bag of banana. No, I can't design Tratana.
That's right.
Nearly a Kanye, common national ID.
That's right.
That's
right.
Inshallah. Yasin Mashi and Banana. Then that Pangela district comes out and they go hospital.
That's right.
Then what I mean, Allah. Alhamdulillah. Katijini man they cannot leave transport side.
Yeah.
Transport man ya say what no one lord kuna ni na Ghana.
Inshallah.
No me lord from was that is on the tabasa para.
That's right. Inshallah.
Yes, mom in Yamakadama. I bang na anim that transport business. Made in Ghana.
That's
right. Kishin Yankana. Until Tamle, Kalur Maka and Nuki, Kazana Luru Corona, and Tisare, Kajili Panle. The Wura meaning quality God Luru.
That's right.
Then Zanti is up. Alhamdulillah. To you Bansini, Fancy Gadam in Makas, you know,
I'm a recording studio. Jagan Yele, until her fancy Gadam that my little idea. Mano Azamane, Katribang Koyamane, to recording studios, man, you have a problem. Kati kan tiare punya dunga cheka government kena dama tibi mo banks ma wonzo shemo tunnan studios mo ka yene bet tudu ka yene bet kuma ka yene bet la kurade ka yene bet Accra baza nan to kena mane nan recordings ma tunnan studios ma ka reveal za world class standard ka kan tibaza
alhamdulillah da bambi yani jarnyasa I pardon me. The Tarabani. You are not as the name. It's a German. You put to Chancellor. Come to Tiga. Minas as a deep Jilmalana, inshallah. When you don't chance Saka family.
Yeah, very.
Catching Tamalicia. I mean, Labour Day. Come and as Antish could try to
Saka primary. Ninsalmona Nimanika Shakamzada Chile. Zankan Mbangsim. So primary school ma school ma Bupang Bamangpa. Dama Manda Bichang the man in Daputum Patama secondary, Mutu Yitaba secondary, Oxford University, Big any all of this. These are Pilla Sakasaka primary school. Those go Sakasaka primary Unkuton Tambi Yala Dalwane in Dan Chekabas Tahabala 500 dual desks. Sakasaka primary ma. The Malaya Some cut the new classroom block, bra mala problem te sanda make up classroom blocks yin sam. So to many headmistress ma to asar biadela. So we will look at help nutun sumba katinang tamale secondary ngona many headmasters ma to dir azamapa. So to songnaba then chene dormitories, classroom blocks, Nabunaza, Naungafara, very soon, Tra Bo Songsum empty and sunny. Kabi mere 600 bed class dormitory, 600 for girls in Tamale Secondary School. So now when you go Benari, you know, ka nang Tamale Secondary School, Amfani. Mbache Ghana Secondary School ba. Mbatambia Secondary School spam Mbatambia ama tambale ne saka ngona benang wopsama. So you know when original minister you can be sure. You can be sure. So you can be sure. Damasco, I mean house in Ghana. Not Pila Patterson, Kati Andy Wema. So nothing yellow Wema house prefect. Oh lala. House man not adore you. When not adore you. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Wake up the chassis. You can assume a kazan. New tie. Why teacher to lay. Karena menjadi pembe jene mesin man klama di kudia kaula mesin man jo sampai syakam tu champion champion peleh infrastructure share no kudia tracker delivery tracker inshallah apam pun dalam project na the part is very down to infrastructure project tracker tras yemen in lire government tumra tuma pam Then projects ni come to ma soya to ma banjit to ma airport nama so to mama government to mama dizoya to so to ma shell the western region mbe eastern region mbe northern region mbe upper east Ghana za mangombe tamalonga unko bandin na wale zan je ate bandi nan bibiani kati yene din chan shamma sai kati tai sai kati zan government projects zan district by district boka government tumaka government tumna kastin zanin ton chan internet ne nle mbangne government nan lanwo an ku district Kamza Ghana, Tamala district scopes unit P.O. 260 districts. Katobang then be each district. Projects Alan Nana, Denaya, Debenai, Deza Antumba. Then Katiani delivery tracker. Yamani to Tum the Tuma kamangwa yobo sunsu ngani njang lala project ngoza nkana so that kanan website ma so comes a hal ambe solmin tangba kabora bangdin chana a district ne anton le mba din de song pam dama government atum tilla nerba dadam gana za ka tumata so sumsin nerba to bang botuma ka tumna gana za so ncha tin ban ka Africa ngo nto nan lala Ghana kunya first in Africa nan delivery track ma so tumensi yana transparency and accountability so kam zanin tonya dinchira so DC mun karanti yana mella sukuru de beke at so kam zanin to ba ami de biane be de kan first ma so na kun to yana tibia sukuti 200 ngunin to ba so sai ka wohi district by district be wala don bonga bela ke ka de bonga be ke ka de bonga be ke ngumbe tatale on tombang be wala an yana amala sukunna war kaka on yala na ka sukunna ba be wala so this is sun la government ma ka traka ma mangba government mamanga tuntun le yun kamza ami dembongo denial be denial beula hey project pilia denial because amar 17,000 projects kana 8,000 so 8,000 something na sum the nang beula so aya new budget mbo se ka bang make sure kamang laraben na ampili chelma first beula kana pili za pale hey so dingbanin sun government pam ama first time on wakatin nan Ghana ama dum kwen parami tunda yele mana projects pam biane kadre trabaton capture nan database man so tik nan na bela capture the projects in para ante ha update nan kana within the next few weeks new update of the infrastructure the kwen nan la update every few weeks nan update you know so seven completed seven new projects and that ama mansumani because dinazin African and government you know pumpongo tingen changtone din so kamza men bang government ngon tum shari district kamza gan dimbomna danka nda ya NDC namba bakbamba mang banang bedene katinya bangbang wontum tiel gana waza
abe kule umukile FM station tejo do wora kama ni transparency shele dampa yi na moma no to track tuition aben tunda den wora na kadama atinya competent person kasona ya yemjisha andaji kabusunga ka fora na bodu da ya tolishi akonko ye abodo government gayi abagaya kabisha kan to kuchange miso mekana nsinchini kila moma ne alzan shaka tinti wodin kayan pam ka ban ka dama amma jawi yan champu ni maja ka ban ka dama hati ya kaza kanyente kabisha kan to nan tabata minta mu konkon pala la minta mami ngwana ngbaza mwe ngugu jimela na odala pata ka 20 ya jelfumo anda yosef na kamera ami bokal ana to presentate ko o amam dile tamale to company ya kaza trano do mo bi kaza na azono banda bi tamale abona zinka tik ma o amaya 1971 ete mo yani ya kaza kana to ti
wa nzono maza manda yosene so nzono maza bana kunyala nzono ma bana kunyala nzono ma nzono ma batai nzono manda be tamale alaji bobo sabon kuri you know Dr. Nashiru Abu Samed Nimza nzono mda barakati yose mbe sukuri you know kote ankara binda anyo ama obela yango obetama pasta yipanyo you know mno ndabala so mno zona mangona tamale katira biene gota nan wanda za a tira zongal gota nan ma za ne tira tutti ma ntbo wota tira nye bolle ntere Savannah Stars wanda hanyar saka park oi bisa ha ami try ko bolla tiyen na siam mvanket park man ko do yike oi classmates ngona oi bazoya professor Mohamed Salifu nama Karim nama bazoya Dr. Nashiru Abdul Samad nama Raji Bobo nama Abdul Rahim tuzoya tunako biela the same temala to platform so wait to non close pa to classmates mazoya
alhamdulillah fila FM to ko to chapse ka na ntu kama we dey penyo force adepa ene ton ko se wo hwe wasitini mu na to apapa na emre na so se wo ye ne efata e se ye ni his excellency e ka se wi e wo ti mu se ampa ne ma akota ku mu bi bia e foso jo ama o meni the whole Ghana bia e de di nti bia e du ni die bo ma de ne hu se enye me na emu arana omo baso omo sitini mu dudu na na uto mu school fees no obekoso atua na obenya aboto aye ne fata ze ne be ya school fees no untibi water bill untibi life bills na enam so na enam bioma e ko no bibia be di ajo nti hwe wasitini ne to alaba ebe boawo ebe boa omanga ebe boa me ebe sa be boa onkora na omo ye dachi be ni fo nti ko mo dia na ye ne fata 89.3 Fila FM.
Wait, akan masuk magan din ba? Oki eche media no. Eki baba. Media mi agalam sidi. La mi classmate ba kwa Oshe interchange so Dr. Abbas Awolo, director of Urban Roads. Now I am a classmate. I encouraged him from primary schools through secondary school up to Ene. Madam for Minyonko Pa. You're Dawson, your classmates, no. That me I join sitting in Makai say, on all supervising. Under the minister and the deputy minister, no, only urban roads director. So urban roads it will fall under him.
Jilmalani Dr. Mahamadou Paumia, ne also yet to Almashama, Abalima Abia, who will cover the Canada. Amashama, for you can tell my grand chairman do all.
Yeah, money. Wait, Odula all ma. Papa, now na back no, and Quene, Manga, Kachakanana Kufado Toy. Timmar plan shalma du zoya pam ma so wonyen yela no ntaz pulga le mozone first mpo ya pam kapa assalamu alaikum
wa alaikum salam alhamdulillah
so picture
Me did say, you buy, you know, you him say, I buy no a kind, excellence in another number can say, or Bebo Mode see Sikas and Obesha Suya, it's me a boy. Now, by that, I know I have your mamma, by the Obebuya and Obeboya, so. I dear woman say, and this is a buy under John Mahamano, only interchanges me, no interchanges me, no, cost to you $440 million.
Say $440
million US dollars.
Locations of the interchanges.
Location of interchanges, no, my main fan show her. So, bet me as zoom in what circle interchange. Accra, circle interchange.
Dubai, no need.
Dubai, no need.
Okay.
Dubai, no do any.
All right.
It cost to Ghana for $260 million.
Bakope. Okay.
Aya Kaswa interchange. Yanoni. Eno ya de Mama ya no anwie. Kaswa. Eno so no ne bo no kosi $170 million. One year completed. $170 million.
Yeah, na say enye usable.
I say wo mu wie. Why baby wo mu wie. It cost $170 million. It interchange me no we ya wo hu no. Yeah, circle interchange we. Any Kaswa we ya. Mama ne ne ndisi for ya no. $440 million. Now, His Excellency Nana Dubai. Can you make dear what dear our de Boagana? Way, Obesebe Lamte interchange.
Yes, sir.
Obesebe Lamte interchange, $133 million. $133 million.
Obesebe Lamte Accra.
Obesebe Lamte. His Excellency, why 4? Yeah, we use this year. $133 million.
Okay.
Temamoto way interchange. Wabe started 2018.
Okay.
February, and I Dr. Mahmoud Bawumi had a soccer ball for. And at 2020 June, the year sir, and no cost to $55 million. People 10 years. 55 million.
Full interchange.
And no so you have accessories a walk for any. Nini I got honey. And Chenta no cry what the 3 rows neck on any $55 million. As will be the about cost to $270 million. Now, after Ubarasia, His Excellency the President, or year Pukwasi interchange. Pukwasi interchange will be seen a bay. It was 9, the biggest interchange in West Africa. First one, Ubenian was South Africa. Second one, Ghana had the biggest one. Yeah, no, Ubeshaha. Uben was Eli Woods. Yeah, come home and on the completion only. What I say, yeah, no, cost to $60 million US.
$60 million. Are they second highest, largest in Africa?
Yes,
West Africa.
$60 million, and the cost to you.
How?
Yeah, and how no, I bet you was here. After Uber last one, we are no one Tamale interchange. Tamale interchange, and we see $35 million. The first interchange in the north. $35 million. It will come here selling in Abuma. About $286 million.
That's a neighbor.
And
a circle, the any pet.
Yes, I was second, but you know,
difference like to a
second of what me at 9. Now, deal with the money bus and say, Nina, a banana farm and Nipabaco, what they call tender.
Okay,
my company's no about tender. The best out of them, and the idea of Jumanama, and only difference,
no more who set price no difference above idea. Who are them? Dear, I'm found
to was every bidder or there come one and no quiet resources no a Tamale interchange.
Okay,
Tamale interchange, Chinese for no do music babaya. Into one this can and one a room contract.
you could so source and $35 million.
Or more sika and what they may see the Mamma, my contract and smile. It's your no qua a Tamale interchange way. And no one a idea is with their coming. They are tender. And you know, value for money. John Muhammad, my Brazilian company. And one is a buyer, I know a friend was a buyer. In the Kabi or the baby, I don't know what too. In the son, I've gone up for you. And the air Ghana putting in and say, Sadly, we know a Kabi which was saying, Excellency the President. Second year, the man piano, or just year, will beat me a name more. One interchange for Mahama is equal to 4 interchanges.
Thank you, Dad.
His Excellency in Yajuman Maya. And we didn't never be blow ya. Nay, and this is 1 and I'm the one to scanning, but this can be a depa. I'm a Ghana in African inside there. Yamish.
Swami constituency, the place by and large had not developed as much as it has now. I'm talking about the sprawl of the constituency, the construction of residential houses at Swami. Until very recently, the Swami Malkru Bushokura enclave. You know the name Bushokura is significant and it has some historical implications. I wouldn't want us to go into that, but it used to be a place where, for some rituals, that is accompanying the death of Ashanti royals. All these things happened in very thick forests. And because of these things, the place was not meant to be exposed to the public. So, Bremai, Shokura, Konchuma, UGC area, there used to be thick forests. Growing up at Bremai, there were farmlands for us. I remember what we now call Konchuma used to be called Takwayu. Takwayu meant Tafo Kwayu. So it was where we used to have our farms. And then Bushokura, I've told you, there were farmlands up to Malkru, where the school park is. The school itself used to be called Bremai LA Middle School because it was part of Bremai. Bremai sprawls up to that place. That's why it was called Bremai LA, Local Authority Middle School. So it was thick forest. Between Bremai and Kronom, there used to be one poultry farm where we now have our hospital, the SDA farm. The place was thick forest. Both sides of the road, that is left side to the left, to the right, up to Kwapra. And then Kronom RC primary and middle schools. You crossed Kwapra, Kronom, where you have the Methodist church. On the right hand side, there was one sawmill at the place. The sawmill led you close to that stream there that feeds the original waterworks for Kumasi. That's the Owabe stream. Beyond that, on both sides of the road, thick forest until you got to a franchise. In fact, there used to be an orange plantation for the chief of Tafo. After the Shell filling station, close to Afabo town, that station has now been requested to begin another name. So all that stretch on both sides, thick forest, until about 20 years ago. So the farmlands now have been sold out to various people, converted into residential facilities. Unfortunately, in the sale of those lands, not too much preparatory work went into it. So many places, the houses are haphazardly located, and that makes development of roads very difficult. And yet, because the houses have been built, you really need to do what is best for the people. The Kwapra enclave, one of the most recently developed, you will see it's different from the others. That place is well zoned out, well organized. So developing roads is not going to be difficult. Now, so I would just say that, and you emphasized road development is lacking because of the lateness in the development of the area. And the fact also that the sale and lease of the lands many places were not properly handled, and so it's making road development very difficult. Notwithstanding, we have to do our best still. Abusuakrua area is not too bad, right? You see the old townships, Macro, the old town of Macro, the old town of Bremai, the old town of Tawa, the old town of Swami, well laid out, even in times past. One cannot just simply understand while moving to, the present times. You have land that is sold out in such haphazard manner. But as I've said, we need to make the best out of a very poor situation. So we started in earnest road development. And you said to me that the people of Takwamaku and Omanye, I will plead with you, when we leave, go there and see what's happening. The drains are being made, they are being constructed in earnest at Maku, at Takwa, at Omanye, beginning all the way from just behind the post office, right, stretching to Omanye. Right. Mama, you see, you've been there. So something is happening. I'm happy you are living with this. And yet you have people who go on air to say that, oh, nothing is happening at Macro. Yesterday I went to a particular church where the priest was telling me that the people haven't seen anything yet. And yet, less than 100 meters from where his own church is situated, they are developing drains. And yet he was openly saying to the church people that they haven't seen anything.
Is it because they are fed up with you, or probably
I'm not sure.
they are just deciding?
Oh, in that particular church, there is a particular person who used to be one of the high-ranking executive committee members. He's no longer with us. And I guess he has succeeded in polluting the minds of some of the congregants. And that is why the people were, I wouldn't say they were overly hostile, but the way they were making their point, as if they hadn't seen it. I'm wondering whether they are really residents of Tapamanso. Because it is there for anybody to see that the drains are being made, being constructed now. Let's speak to you now. The workers are there doing that. A few things that they have to do, including some spaces that they left out. They have to drain up so that they have the full complement of the drains development. The contractor has assured that in the next 3 weeks you begin the grading and then ultimately the tarring of those roads. Likely you will begin from Merko, Takwa, and Omanye, and before coming to Abusuakrua. And then you go to if you know that stretch, there is a road that links from the place they call Sukagas, climbs up to the market at Kropo, and then also uses the back road of Islamic Secondary School, right? So those ones are also, and strong drains as we speak are being constructed at Swami, both at Swami you get to a place we call Salafia.
Through to the Pentecost Church.
Yes, through to Pentecost. There's a big storm drain that's being constructed there. Also at Embassy Hotel, and those ones are also being done. And then you go to Chrono. Those storm drains are being constructed.
So going into election 2020, so what is your message for the people?
You want to know what we have been able to facilitate. I wouldn't say achieve, because once you say these are my achievements, it's like it's like you have done them at your own expense. That's not true. I have facilitated in the sense that I have gone upstairs and spoken and lobbied for those facilities to be constructed. Within the Swami municipality now, we have done about 38 schools, and I think about 8 are also being constructed now. That would take the number to about 46 when we are done. When I first came to the constituency, the number of schools in the constituency were about 50. Kronum, Bramai, RC and MA, Macro, and my own alma mater, Swami, Adadi, St. Joseph's, and we went to New Swami. We had 2 schools, Methodist and Division, and Salvation and Methodist B. Those are the schools there. Today, I have, I would say, more than double the schools. I have, at least there's 200% increase in the number of schools that we have there. So you go to any place, you go to Kronum, there are 3 new schools, 6 unit classroom blocks that were built. There's a 4th one that is being developed now. And there's another one that we built at Kwapra. I think there's another one that is springing up at Abu here, New Abu here. You come to Bremen RC, there used to be just one school. Go there today. We've built 3 6-unit classroom rooms plus 2 KGs that we have done. RC was a primary school, and we had lower primary and upper primary growing up. So there were 3 units and 3 units. If you go there today, we have built 2 new 6-unit classroom rooms plus 2 new KGs. And then the PTA was developing a facility, 8-unit classroom block that was not properly done. So I've gone to refurbish the 8-unit classroom block completely. So that's for the RC section. Go to Abushakru, I've done one. Go to Melcro, many of them. St. Joseph's have done 2 6-unit classroom block. It used to be just a 4-unit classroom block. St. Joseph's was a middle school. So now we have added 2 to make 6. And we have added 2 classrooms to make 6. And then we have built 2 6-unit classroom blocks there, story building. We go to Anmani, he didn't have a school. We built 1 6-unit, and then we have built another one. Because we anticipated that we floored the first one that we did. So we erected a 2nd story, and then again another 6-unit. Then you come to New Swami, Old Swami, plus NBTI, plus Nuru Islamic, Safia. So all of them we have been able to achieve. We have the situation of electricity supply within the municipality was not the best. It was not the best because we have very few transformers, and they couldn't really supply the numerous houses that were springing up almost overnight. So now we facilitated the positioning of many step-down transformers, the miniature ones. We have in the constituency over 150 of them. That really stabilized our situation. And then we have also provided a lot of street lights to the place. Most recently, we gave them through the assembly members 100 each to the 18 assembly members. And that meant that we had 1,089 plus 200 that was sent to magazine. Right, so those are there. So that is as far as the electricity situation is concerned. For health, we have facilitated the completion of a health facility that was started about 40 years ago under Champions regime. It was started by one Kendall Bate, who became the regional commissioner. The Champions, I think it got started in 1975. It had remained there, and nothing had been done until I came and we were able to use my common fund to complete the hospital, which we have now given to SDA to operate. So the SDA church, the Adventists are the people who are operating it now. That is not some people say that we have sold it out to SDA. It's not so. Nothing. They came and met the facility. We're looking for government to come and populate the place with medical officers and nurses, but government was not coming early enough until SDA came and applied to use it. And then with the support of the chief of Bremen, we allowed them to use it. So it's not been sold to SDA, and they are using it until when now that we have a municipality, if the municipal assembly is ready, and if government is ready to populate it with medical officers from public space, it will revert to government. So that is for that one. We have one now that is being roofed. It's being developed at Kwapra. It's appealed to GMPC as one of their social responsibilities. They are helping us to construct that hospital. And then there is one that has also been built at Magazine to assist the artisans. If anybody should get injured, they could be rushed to the place. So that's what we're doing there. Plus, the land that we have secured at New Swami. You are aware that recently the government said we're going to develop a polyclinic at Swami. In fact, I have insisted that Swami is above a polyclinic. You remember that all the polyclinics in the various constituencies, Tafo, Menchia, Suntreso, and Atunsu, they've all been converted into hospitals. So we can bring a polyclinic to Swami. So I told the minister that we can't live with it. So they are redesigning to have a hospital constructed at Swami. What it means is that, Swami is a built-up area. So it makes it difficult to have that wide expanse of land that they need for the construction of a hospital. What it means is that the land that we have secured, which is just about 7 plots, 700 by 100 plots, so barely equal to 2 acres. They're going to have to develop it vertically, as going high rise, and then it then would mean that I think they can do 2 structures. It would then mean that the minimum they can go will be about 4 stories, perhaps even 5. That will bring additional costs because they don't have to provide lifts and so on and so forth. But that is it. So for the health facilities, that is what we'll be able to facilitate. Roads, until I told you that we're having problems, and we used to grade the roads every other year with the assistance of the assembly members. I'll provide money, they go and rent graders, and they will buy diesel and then grade the constituency with the assistance of the assembly members, as already said. But now we are in the process of constructing the roads, which is why I said the drains are being made. Some of them have been made, and we have a plan to move to every place in the constituency. For Magazine, which is not part of the residential areas, but it's a light industrial area, we have secured funding. And if you go to Magazine now, they've started the construction of a 10-kilometer road. That's Swami Magazine. So in short, and we provided scholarships for many of the brilliant but needy students from the constituency. All in all, I think we've done about 800 the scholarships that we have awarded to the students. Some have passed through and completed university. At least, I think at the last count, about 120 or so have gone through up to the university level. So we are assisting There are various places, I mean, sports infrastructure, football fields that we have facilitated the construction of. Bremen, Chronom, we graded it and provided some block work to fence it to prevent erosion because the school park was being seriously eroded and the people who were using them on almost daily basis were getting seriously injured. So we had to grade it and provide a small dwarf wall around it to prevent runoff water from causing erosion. I regrassed micro park, provided we greened it. Unfortunately, the people didn't have patience. So when the grass was coming up, they started playing on it, and the grass then withered. It's all come back as of yet. I don't know whether we have now to do AstroTurf or maybe try the green grassing again. The AstroTurf is appealing. But what people don't know is that once you do the AstroTurf, you kill the growth of any grass subsequently. It will mean that eternally you can't grow grass there. So that is what maybe may have to contend with. So if you ask me, these are some of the things that we've been able to facilitate. We have facilitated the construction of market places. Bremen provided cement and roofing sheets. Bremen West, again, same thing. There is one that we have facilitated at Opera. Macro, we have done same. And Manye, when I came, they have built their own market. But it was not electrified. So we did the wiring of the place to ensure that the place also served with electricity. There are many toilet facilities that we have also facilitated their construction. I think we all through done over 30 public toilets at the place. So, in a nutshell, these are the things that we're able to facilitate. But we are not done yet. Because now the issue has to do with the construction of roads, how to facilitate the completion of what we have started. And I hope that within the next, let me say 2 years, we should be able to really do much as far as the road construction is concerned. So what was that? I would be able to take a bow and say to myself that I've been able to, by and large, achieve what I set out to do for the constituents.
Now, two people are contesting you. Their posters are out. They're doing their campaign, and I'm talking about the NDC's Francis Dodovi, who is their parliamentary candidate. There's another man from Swami Magazine whose name is Bashaka. He's also contesting, and I have seen another poster of another young man who is believed to be a member of your good friend Ayariga's party. How do you see these people? Because they are all campaigning against you. They are all saying that, I mean, you have not lived to the expectation of the constituents. How do you react to all these kind of political campaign against you in particular?
In the final year of President Obama, he met the press. One person charged at him that he, Obama, had not done anything to develop America and develop the people of America. He had not added value to national development. Obama said something. He said it's a huge challenge to be blind. I don't want to add anything to it. Some people just decide to be mischievous. Some people decide that, well, we have seen but we have not seen. Right? Some people may also genuinely not know that it is maybe Chairman Sabusu who facilitated the construction of a public toilet in this area. The person may not know that perhaps maybe he wasn't living there. He came, the toilet was there, he takes it for granted. Maybe his wife goes to a market, macro market. He wasn't living there. He came and saw the market. So perhaps he's oblivious of the fact that the market was provided by chairmen of those ones could be excused. But there are some people who are there, right there. They know that chairmen are going to facilitate the construction of the school. And yet he goes about saying that he hasn't seen anything. Yesterday, as I said, we went to a place. We went to the Catholic Church at Takwa. And when we left, a certain fair-colored young man who was apparently with a former chairman, who himself turned out to be a renegade. It's his own problem. But he left the chairman's vehicle and came charging. So I asked him, do you stay at Marco? Have you seen the number of schools that we have facilitated here? Are you really resident at Marco? You're a young man. You saw what we did with the playing field. You have seen at least the construction of drains everywhere at Marco. And you are saying that you haven't seen anything. The scholarship that are provided, if maybe one person is not from your family, that one you may not know. That would be excusable. And you cannot tell me that you haven't seen the development of the market. You can't tell me that you haven't seen the construction of drains at Marco Tower. You can't tell me that you haven't seen the schools that were provided. All the schools, when we were going to commission them, by the time we got there, I saw that they had written my name there, that this school was facilitated by Chairman Zabuz. So my name is boldly written there. I even told them that I didn't want that, right? Because the money did not even come from my own pocket. So at the time of commissioning, I told them that. But at least if you are staying at Macro, you have seen that if you go to Macro school, there are 3 6-unit classroom blocks that we have built. And yet you are saying that you haven't seen anything. It means you are an ungrateful being. Or you have decided to put on blinkers. There are some people that you cannot perhaps salvage because they are determined to be mischievous. But there are some who genuinely may not know, who then may have to be educated on these things. Those people who spend time on to let them know that, oh, we have done this, or we have facilitated this, But to say that, and you know what, that person, when we left the church, we went to a house where, because it was the wedding, the blessing of the wedding of our treasurer. When we went there, the guy came there. And when he came, he saw just close to the place the drains that were being constructed. And yet he could stand in the church and say that he had not seen anything.
So,
you excuse
what will the people of Swami lose if they decide to change you in the next 4 years?
Perish the thought. I know the people will not do that. I don't even want to think about that. But these things are matters that we do for the constituency, or we facilitate for the constituency. The greater things that we do is at the level of the nation, at the national level, where in Parliament, everyone will tell you that not to beat my own chest. Everybody will tell you that if we're looking for maybe even 2 leading lights in Parliament, they will not certainly fail to mention the name of a certain person called James Abuso in the performance of the functions of Parliament, the representational functions of members of Parliament, the deliberative functions of members of Parliament, the financial control function of members of Parliament, the oversight function of members of Parliament, the legislative function of members of Parliament. Nobody will say that Chief Executive is not a good member of Parliament. And I would suggest to you that if you ask any person, be a person from the majority MPP caucus or the minority NDC caucus in Parliament, they'll tell you that a certain James Abuso is one of the best members of Parliament. in the making of laws, in the passage of agreements that come before Parliament. He's the leader in these things. So that's where the greater picture even is. Because the member of Parliament, I keep saying, is not the development agent of the constituency or of the district. The agency for development are at 3 levels. One, the president himself is an institution. The presidency is an institution. Yes. The president is the chief executive, is the chief development agent for the country. It's the reason why when the president attends a function and the chiefs and people meet him and tell him, Mr. President, you came by this road. Have you seen the road? You need to fix it for us. Some of them can even threaten President. The president will turn and ask his finance minister, his or road minister, do you envisage to do you have any plans to do this road? The minister will say that no, it's not part of our plans immediately. And yet, after listening to the people, the president can, on the spur of the moment, assure them that within 2 months we'll come and start. Right? Because he ultimately has control of the money. So he can even decide to, even where there's no money, he can decide to fire the money that Parliament has given him for development for a particular year. Take this money from here, go and do this. Because this is critical. Maybe a bridge is broken. So the president is the chief development agent. The next level is the ministers. That's the ministries, I should say. The ministries assist the president in the development. That's why they have yearly budget. They come with their own development agenda, their own program, right? So the Minister of Education will say that I'm going to build so many schools. I'm going to build so many get-fund schools this year. The next level of development is the district assemblies. That's why they have money allocated to them every year. The MP only facilitates, you only lobby. If government says that, oh, I see your problem, unfortunately we can't do it this year, there's nothing that the member of Parliament can do, right? People don't understand these things. So sometimes you have people who would want to be elected to Parliament making wide claims. That's why people tell us that right? Because you have the uninitiated who jump in and say, he comes to Parliament and realizes, then he's shamefaced. Those of them who do that, many times, they don't stay for long. 1 term, 2 terms. Absolutely. 1 term, 2 terms, they are off. We need to educate the populace, the voting populace.
He's going to build hospitals, roads.
Where are we going to get the money from?
Those people should be voted against because
they don't know what they are talking about. It's not the MP who builds the hospitals. I told you that when I came, the first hospital that we developed at Bremen, they have been there since 1975. What I did was that I accumulated my common fund. Fortunately, we had residents of Bremen who are domiciled in the United Kingdom. They came together and brought down, at the time, 100 million, now 10,000, to roof that structure. They wanted to help the community to complete the facility. So they brought 10,000. At the time, my common fund, I think I had accumulated close to about, it was about 85,000 or so. So we took everything there and they should use it. So the Bremen people came and residents in the UK, they came to roof it, provide the roofing. And indeed, I had to even provide some timber members. And then we started the roofing, and we awarded the project of contract. The contractor did what he did. It was not done in a year, it was subsequently. I had to then restock the common fund, I would do under allocation, and then until they did the tiling and the provision of basic amenities like water, toilet facilities, hand wash basins, and so on. So when the SDA came, we had about finished everything. In fact, we had even done some demolition because the regional health director, when he saw the plan, said that we needed to really demolish some portions and then do a reconstruction of some portions, which is what we did. So that is the state of the constituency now. It doesn't mean that we have crossed the Red Sea and entered Canaan yet. We haven't. We are still in the middle of the Red Sea. So we are about coming out of the Red Sea to enter the land of Canaan. So I would just appeal to those of them, the residents, to have just a little bit of patience. They've tolerated me for quite a while. We are about emerging strongly from where we were, and I hope that the next 2 years we should be able to finish with the road systems. And when we have done that, I can look back with joy and say to myself and say to the glory of God that we have been able to achieve significantly for the people of Swami. That would not even mean that still nothing can be done. You certainly will have people who succeed you, and they will come and continue from where you have left off. As I said, this infrastructure, we have been able to facilitate the construction of many of them. What is left is the roads, and we are doing our best. That's all as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, will you give us a peace message as we go into election 2020?
So, the elections are about choices. Sometimes people say that politics is a dirty game. It's not a dirty game. Politics is about choices, and indeed informed choices. It's not about telling lies. One person is going to, when he saw that we started the construction of the roads at Swami magazine, he goes there to say that, oh, he started the magazine roads. This thing we started with the World Bank, the secondary cities project, 2 years ago. Now that the contractor has come, he then went there and said that he's doing it. And people asked him. But Chairman is supposed to say that he is the one who has facilitated it. And he said, oh, I gave him some heat before he came to do it. And the guy then asked, assuming what you are saying is right, doesn't mean that you are the person doing it. So why should you come and tell us that you are the person doing it? Go to magazine today. Those lies that have been told there, people are now coming out of it. So this guy has come to mislead us. So today, fortunately, there are many people at Swami magazine who are coming on board, having now seen the truth in what we came to promise, that indeed we are facilitating it. As I'm saying, the money is not coming from my pocket, with my personal resources. That's why I keep insisting that I'm only facilitating the development of the area. I'm not the one who is funding those projects. So I was saying that elections is about choices, making informed choices. You can only make informed choices when you know the truth. It's not about peddling lies and propaganda. It's the lies and propaganda and the smear campaign that some people deliberately engage in, which occasions people to say that politics is a dirty game. It should not be. Let's tell people what we can, our own programs, and what we have in stock for them if we're able to vote for them. And I say that if you belong to a political party, if you're a candidate, like I'm a candidate, on a ticket of MPP, I can't do anything outside the program of MPP, right? If MPP is saying that we're going to concentrate on schools, I can't go and tell them that I'm going to develop an airport at Swami, because it's not a program of MPP. If MPP says that they're going to develop an airport, another airport in Kumasi, and we have land at Swami, then I will say that, look, when I go, maybe I'll lobby to see whether the second airport could come to Swami, right? But I cannot say that I'm going to give you an airport when I know that one Swami is already a built-up place and there's no land. And even if there's land for the development of an airport, I'm not in charge of the development of any airport. So I can't tell you that. I can't tell you that I'm bringing a university to Swami, because it doesn't lie with me. right? So that is how it is. Let's tell the people the truth. When they get to know the truth, right, the people will make their own choices. If you tell lies and you are found out, you'll be exposed. That's not good enough. Let's be truthful to ourselves. Let's be truthful to the people that we hope to serve. And let's be truthful to our conscience. Let's be truthful to God, our Maker. I think that is what is going to lift us up as a country and lift us up as individuals. That is my position. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. Came to Swami constituency. The place, by and large, have not developed as much as it has now. We're talking about the sprawl of the constituency, the construction of residential houses at Swami. Until very recently, the Swami Macro Bushokua enclave, you know, the name of Bushokua is significant and it has some historical implications. I wouldn't want us to go into
Titu ni nananom a omo ye the custodian of our culture. Omo for manu to sasemu mu. And na asofo nso so religious leaders. The kind religious leaders and ya asofo no kwa malam for ene nkramofo mpanimfo nyina. Obi amfa na ntum. Se obi nyusu obi. Se bia media me ye kramoni nti na monto aba mame. Na media me ye Kristo nti na monto aba mame. Na media me free sa bia we nti na monto aba mame. Omo koye sa ade na. A recipe for disaster. Said the politicians, especially MPP, NDC, say yeah, politics, you know, a fan. Time. I would have someone and the woman here. Another point is the politics of insult. But you can't insult, and yet direct insult to Nkwa, but I did be or her, Cassabi or her, said you'll be a canon of Crano. We are not a idea who did. Microphobia tem, and I saw the chancrophobia poakinos I never come. Dear best say, an anonymity say from former President Mahama, and no more say this time around it should be politics of issues. Yeah. Why has it now turned say if instead of say you be raising issues, you be can someone. And no maybe because it is among the manifestos near the idea by there are issues therein. I see you now digesting you who say as someone on the Ababe to Jano, the woman will be to my boy. Why are we diverting those issues now? I see a canon. Even your more friends is two parties, and they are say historically, it means your my say President our free so our former. Or say I'm babu as a abijina no ne the incumbent I also transfer 4 years on so at na ma baba mu pen you be on record yes so obia woni bibia also tin kan wasem na Ghana for gina so de to ababa that kind of ethnocentric politics na there I think say Ghanaians everybody we will be biara or be raise or be yes I didn't be no me to Ghana for say nge nto abantia no because or man before. Exactly.
How are you going to coordinate with them?
Because or man before. Or you be a on shares or money in Kambomua. Ya pray near Nyano over the years, no, a better now. What I said, can one some who can be no mind you who say yes, when someone who can a task moon. And Uncle Father see free education or buy anyway free education. Also say, oh, we are infrastructure. You are also talking of infrastructure. Young way the two. And I young way more someone more canon. Young who say Ghana for we and you pay a bit my boy. Then say, if you are the okay. Oh, bah, now can I say Massa, don't forget you have created enmity with Ashantis. And therefore, Ashanti for you to die.
No matter what you do,
no matter. Until I do maybe, President, former President Mahama can say, Asante Mamu, the one here, the gold to cry a choir. One should hear, send your poster, send your normal city into 1 penny. Young to that. no matter what you do.
Ebi so na ka wo ya de papa o.
Bia na de wo ye ne ye. Unim say asantemam ha. Na no nkrofobia raise issue say MPP ba development in Shadan Koso. What I said. Yeah. Could you believe say as a voter region during the time of Kufo? Omakwan. Oye pa. Kufo time. Na Kumasi fo nyina su that then ansa na omo kofa asafu interchange and that of na nkran so those interchanges no development na cost bebre. What I say voter regions are quite me obi fa ho that time. Otum so man ya kwan ye pa na Kumasi so anasa santiman mu sofa. And irrespective of who you MPP ni, irrespective of what you do, na say unyamana se probably the man voter region for you be be so many. What I say, Samson no be bi ma. Ya can vote on. When say individual vote, every individual vote counts. Every individual vote counts. I don't know assembly so I mean I make count some we say okra wan to am I'm say some man to am wa ma busuafo nyina make sure they will not vote for you. Ka abe bo mu no to for one. It's samura bebre bonobo. Sure. Everybody in my family, including Omo, I make my influence no. My influence at to about you. But so they respect. And everybody, so far as voting is concerned, for respect ma ubia. What the sampa permuko bemwa? Me too for. Say Ghana for come December 7th. Yakwa kotwaba no. Obi biara or this papa muno ebebano yentoa bentia no completely.
Mr. Kofi J and CEO for Emma Save Ghana Foundation. I had wanted to even ask you what Save Ghana is about, but I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you again. Now, Mr. Kofi J and Oten and Kano. Mr. Wallace. Mr. Shemus. Oba yimsa mejiri se bia bako.
Oh, me hu ye.
Aja de do so do so ni. Sem bia ye ka de papa mu titimu baba ye mamu. Na mama nyo so msunti. Aja hwe na yenko.
We the mesre na NDC for am in particular the Zongo communities politics. FP Ghana and ye kan wasa. Sadi we nyina and said that Magana Bibri Eba Embrana Nanado Danko Kufuado or presidency. And now Bibri Oha Emribi Tremuno or Makika a free or no group name Wankasankasa. Yes, MPP as a party, but from Nanado Danko Kufuado and his camp. Even the Owakaya Deputy Agri Minister be what the Kwaitu. Or MPP, member of parliament for Achimda, and I know a deputy agric minister. 2nd September 2020. Yes, I do. No, not 2nd September 2020. Kwetui, and maybe a Tremu. I can't seem be a coffin and send be a the Okokan say Watna Northern region for a long time. Only is in for Atna for a long time. Now the one who say is in for Kanokre. Into a Monkanokre say so mono ye fukra no more have a severe. Almost a decade datu. Nasi. Some koji bank loan no ma waka bank adi for ni say adwuma na omo disika ye na adwuma na se nti omo ntimi metua say sika no
a great minister no deputy
minister
I remember that comment
Kwaitu ena northern see sorry ena he eventually no or resign Kwaitu no eventually he resigned onu ochi no Osafu Mafu 2015 publication here also the group to protest Osafu Mafu's ethnocentric comments. It's a pressure group we are from Coalition for Defense of Equal Citizenship. CODEC. will today hit the street to protest what they call ethnocentric pronouncement made by members of the opposition New Patriotic Party. And the Omo can say, City News for and Omo initiative Adibi. And Osafuma for tape the Omo boy. Na tape no muno na Osafuma for can say. Oshe Ghana ha. Regions makum be enum. Na yenya yenyema bebree ifri. Bo Central region. Bo Eastern region. Bo Asante region. Bo Bron Ahafo region. And bo Western region. Na the okan ni yekutuno. Or see you have all the resources, but you have no say in the management of your resources. And that is what is happening. Your development depends on the one who has no resources. I see the tape is said to have been recorded at the meeting between Yao Osafo Mafu and the MPP's Council of Elders in the Eastern region. As some can say, so you saw 5 years. Let's say Northern region, you said the BB and free. Upper East, you said the BB and free. Upper West, you said the BB and free. Volta region, you said the BB and free. Greater Accra, you said the BB and free. In the answer, the BB potting free one or say, in this year, ye in Nipa, a man, your man position be a son. That is what he's saying.
According to your interpretation.
That is what he said. But I mean, can ye in a main country or ha? I will say, Safuma for say, you can't ye pano. Or say, he also suggested that the helm of affairs in the country should rest in the 5 regions with the most resources, not the other way around. It's never done anywhere in the world. In the world over, it is the group with the most resources that rules and not the other way around. What does it mean? Or see, we are see baby a nyadi free or mamuno. A ho enipa and a womudi or manus.
And you know, correct.
And you know, correct. And you know, correct. I didn't know. President Rollins, when you are mercy for so many years.
So, still Ghana. I think Minam said Gaviako used to be a mouth for us as a case study. Okay, but you are still mentioning Ghana.
Nigeria. Again, you're free. Nigeria, northern parts, Nekesi. Indeed, there were no work on. At the same time, as you were saying this, you know, when the vice president, you're northerner. The vice president, so you're northerner. Was he a BB and free northern regional? In Tennessee, a funny party to be free northern region. Or say, voter region, at the Papa B and free. Now, voter region, a black vote another. I didn't go to Boda. Was it greater Accra in BB and free? Ghana development, you know, resources, capital, we, you know, the greater Accra, or Safo Mafu, and the county. On what 3rd December 2012.
He's not speaking to today's issue.
Withdraw Esla Owusu's candidature immediately. I'm talking about ethnic politics. Withdraw Esla Owusu's candidature immediately. Northern Coalition demands. Or say, the coalition of northern youth groups has called on the National Executive Council of the New Patriotic Party to immediately suspend Madam Esla Owusu as a member of the party and unconditionally withdraw her candidature from the Ablikuma West constituency. I don't know more cancer. The Tiomo cancer and say, Esla Owusu say, but for free education, people like Alaji Nusa, Haruna Idrisu, will have been in the north rearing cattle. I didn't know cancer or say, the entire cancer and say, Obia, Ofri Sremua, one co school, a Imani, Brunsay, Imani, Nempeso, and Waka.
That's the one time, but the Oka, I remember to say, Sankanya. Free education. Can you pay to the dear boy in Kabia Como Cinema Monka? It's a bit different from the office of Chichana. Who interpretation of demanding?
Or say, what I said was that, Mikotuno. What I said was that the last people who should kick against the free SHS policy should be those who benefit from it. They should rather be championing it because they are living examples of how education has transformed their lives. And I cited specifically the President, Haruna Idrisu, Alban Baben, Muhammad Muni, Ben Kumbo, and Inus Afuseni. Tidi also Kanaha.
Mr. Wallace, who can you say, Manage Hono? Say, and go be candy, I think I never need more.
Maybe, or can be used also cheap. Means also further question. If you are living in the South and haven't been to school, chances are you will be a petty trader somewhere. Similarly, if you are in the North and didn't go to school, you will either be a farmer or go into animal husbandry. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Is it right? Is it right? Says who was out in her. No one go school. Ubidiga. They move free same. No one go school.
Is it not true?
It's in phone kaka.
Was that a mom did I be so kaka?
Aha, was see what you see me no one go school. Now by year.
Because I'm not watching, but
we are seeing no one kaka. Won't mean your store.
Was that a mom did I be so my store? I be my AM way because
you know what can the account. One was say. So we are Southerner. Now one go schooler. Wait me a digger. One can so by him wow. And I mentioned all as I can say. So we are Srimni. Now one go school was Srimwa. A do bet me I answer over can guys.
It is an auto more cousin Bidiga. I'm to boom for an.
You rare.
Yes, over can you? Obey him, why and business, big time business.
And I'm saying, sir, is he saying, sir, Obia one go school or was Biano? M1 way. And in that case, you'll be a one goes to be a digger. No one can make one can I say. Oh, Ubet me a driver, Ubet me a store, Ubet me a Bianiaton.
We always kick against ethnocentric comments.
But that is what he said.
But I'll
Yamina Mikayo, minimum. And the same function a year to a boy away home. Yami.
It is a more Southern Hano. As sorry say, was he a baby gun? Yes, demonstration card is over can say.
Obia or can we ask one will be a digger? I did the same.
I said, you'll be a tone, Zuyan, I'm going to be a yen and a Jew.
That's only who know be or can you ask a woman?
But trust me.
Nice is different from or you are real. They were rancher.
There's two different things.
Come in.
It's
too calamity. Don't tell me what to say. David, don't try.
I would really come.
Fanti demand apology from Nana Addo and MPP.
But as someone got down, the young come with you.
Ethnocentric, no, in the account was him.
Now, recent Achimadio.
Now, who could tell body? I won't know what's on worker.
Whether we're about to be so because tell me idea, Juma.
Fanti demand apology from Nana Addo and the MPP. Eugene Entry can was him. Eugene Entry say, Mr. Entry is about to have labeled Honorable on Isaac Osei, the Member of Parliament for Subin, as a fool in a secret tape which was played on Muntie FM today. The Okaine say, Isaac Osei is a fool. It is the Fanti blood in him which makes him a fool. What is more to say than this? I am Fanti fool more than a woman. And I'm a Jimmy. As someone I didn't walk on 127. Naturally, the Okaine say, Obia Fantimo de Unumuna Jimmy. Fantim is the Fanti blood in him which makes him a fool.
And Mr. Wallace, you know what this we kick against it. We don't
another
just the recent one how
the recent me say ba now me mount the history of that thing. Anya be before. Okay. They make it anya be before. Safu mafo onya bibi ni. Eslausu onya bibi ni. Eugene Entry onya bibi ni. So I'm talking about MP before. Quite two. Onye MPP ni. Fanti akwa MP or the Asiama BB. You know what he said about Northerners in 2011? Or say, Northerners say lazy. Omo pejuma. Na obe hunu ka bia na free dey ba. Na ya sibidie di omo numa ne so omo sibidie na omo di gu ka mu no omo beton. Apart from that na omo pejuma bia. Terms of causing financial loss to the state.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I like you the way you host your programs. Masema enye enchwamunko. Be some questions. I like that. Medasipi Uncle Wallace, my friend Human Centered Wallace. Ojuni nipa. Na manyo semene na to the bia na. Ya na hadwi. Nye say cry no position. Asem toa. Say the papa ibisi ene waye no. No we sampa. We ja. Ode mbona baso hopa. Ipia konfaso ye na manyo se na me sere no na ma kire madwen kakra we pani entu panifo ma kire madwen kakra o na se ko ultima se mu anka be boy ba uti ethnocentric comments ya ye di wura ya manyo simu eno na akofa eno demonstration kakra ka o chiman ye no abetno se tina me kan da se me say ye wo profocasepti say amateur and ye work professional obi a amateur in something you just take interest in it
and for results
you just take interest in it interest bi as o de gina ni bi ti on tiasie ti do be bia no nipa benya ho asemaka.
Why saying that?
And you do a professional. Yeah, dinner all yen, yes, or yen keke. He knows it, he understands it, he knows the nitty-gritties of it. Because say yeah, the baba, we do it to our dear baba, so impact, you see your positive impact and negative impact. He weighs both. Then he sees what to be the best outcome. And then you different from him. To be at you say, nipa idea, unikasa, unimnioye, that is oratorship. Sir, what you say?
That's the
oratorship. Orator, because we be orator, we be onim kasa. So that's here. Me di entina me sha say the way me preamble. As a change na say. Politics na ye no. Sa won tiasia. Abibia benya problem. Expression your mama. And the entirety of NDC. Me say to warm just like that. Amanyo no to warm, akwanya no to warm, cause Lawrence go for buy. Run the two and be two abangu ye, and through that or the TNDC. So that's here. And they did not plan say, how much than trans say, ye prepare abaya manusem.
But we quite apart from a 2 or 7 content from 92 the bano.
I feel a master. So me no achiri a wonti mase to be a question anga na jump forward na say go back ti ba me komanim kakra any say we are politics de tie nyina say o man no ye nyina ye dia na ye nyina na sase no yentimi na prepare obia so fata obia wo stake na say share ewo the stake of the country. Eti mranu aye share kire say enam si ye nyina yentimi ko Jubilee House ye nyina yentimi nya man ye yentimi montiti amanyokuo na monfa monsam mu Ghana fo nim de enti a opese ode o man na man na obedi so eto na sumu a na ode ama wo enu nti no mea wo pese wo gimi tumi me sovereign power me fa mawo na fa bedi me so na umume wunya kwanya bia na wo kase tietia yen wunya kwanya bia dia wo pe na wo ye impo waye mfumsuo na oman ne se je mfumsuo tum na pachaw you can utimi ye press conference na wo sa ka kire oman fo no opa om kokromotin dia bedi oman so se me mpachaw ne empachaw kina me mpachaw ne empachaw kina sa actions no there di pepe me yati ase se ni panadie na wo se fama no onim to the mana otimi nkura e be basa enu nti na bibia ndisi fo nya akonya be di oman no so na problems owo opposition boy
problems been there
oh esa town be wa inya uti Ghana ha o ti nya some waste time ho me fan free chiria ma me ma three aspect of it Rollins time and na bank ya adi nipa sika edwane e sha ase Piram so obet e bia na wunyini so obet nka that the first time bank bi di Ghana sika dwane ye Rollins time and na kom chechirenche etu si Ghana so it three kom so what ya the three kom sa tamu dwa banche no dwane konkonte na ho no a wafa kwan bi so ma na wo e ho na no akoyam mo be Kennedy Rollins time Piram we are confusing the just like that but pimne yehu wo machiri kwan so what you see ana meals buy same problems ye share bi Mahama de ana edutwam Mahama de edutwam
former president Mahama
he pranked the whole nation tio the enti ana me person my address no former ne say former no o se ompe
candidate Mahama
good candidate Mahama and you know ya dream so what I say Anna or pranged the whole country into darkness obi also poor man so die a chim community no so what I say so a chim population 2 million kura na so otimi nyamu 500,000 and pound do baby na odi wo munam sa akwan we say so no na pesa me ka kire wo say say nipa no politics ya say on politics ya say what the politics here in election year you cannot hold a whole a region into dispute
region
Achimja Eastern
when you say Eastern but a part of
Debbie what ka Santia I didn't part of
maybe say bia say dance for the notion will be like boasing and
achim mafia achim for Eastern for no edin from me achim for
because we say you for club for ho you other
uti mama chose the person me say omu constitute Eastern region how often do you hear the woken how often and now what is here can how often out is how often and out so what you say nti dia kan kwesini say dia me kan kwa kwesini say what politics ya say mpo se nipa ba ko pesei na wo kasa tie na say what politics you no do that so this particular NDC as a party no omo sha ase say ombeka Ghana fu tra bom enyene cause abri bi om rezi a na ya hwa wo mo na ya jai so omo fa say but the American ko sinyina no say me nko bi kase achim asante northern na siremni anwonani ni sahade no just like that and come problem on cosmetia me asantini nti so ka pesa me asantini a e atimdidi we ya buruni nam ka so ya buruni a e atimdidi
but the best so no
what ya see ana the best so no so kura mpo no akiri no me the me deep blame no mano anyone was stratified the whole country into geographic setups. Yes, we may divide into geographic setups. There were and then 16 geographic setups. So what you say? But about saying and the moon is any pabako. The any pabako. About saying a muchi chemu. Say more mudia muka casabako into Mumontra. Muchi chemu in that order. Cultural similarities. Die gugugu ekuekuekuekuekueku na mpomuchiche manya na mix enti sanasa ani ma we say koswa die all kan ne no sabi ota frache esesa ye nyina ima ne hu say wa yira kwan nanso no yesi ebisa ne say let us check the history behind the demarcation of the country into these geographic areas na ama okomu a ya groups mo am kasa baako mo am cultural similarities dey na ba o mutiri mo ye ne saa it differences ne dey the ochiche Ghana mu no e dey abadada okay na nso nyina nkosie no ya je hutum se ye nipa baako
one Ghana one people
ye nipa baako nti wo ji se ye nipa baako na wo so ba bepa konya di Ghana constitution so me ati ase cause me true challenge to electoral commission. Electoral commission, yeah, commissioner down me true challenge am say. John Mama ex-president na say candidate Mama today. So Mama here Juma. He doesn't qualify to be a candidate, let alone becoming president of Ghana.
Why?
Thank you. The why any the respond and say constitution of Ghana no I catch it say young former political person you know. No every symbol or color be able to choose no. You should not have representation of a certain sect of the country. And so say obi any bokala no so a challenge say we the asante for. And as some person who two party ni dia and say we an ethnocentric asante for party what say obi bisada Brufo party say ye nationalistic emblem na say the symbol be able to choose bia it should represent the whole nation. And say acquire one particular group be ni aka say bia we the asante for party to pabedo no the constitution and a man basa. Enti sa who choose political party bi so amana ba be di o man so a say who choose political party a ono no ba obetimi aka o man nyina bom.
So you are saying this based on his comments and I said based on the
Tio meba and tell me say the American say comments na candidate Mama are making no or kasetia achimfo ya omo one part of the region. Yes, John Mama nyame pam semfunsuo bi si no timbe president ya mi bisa o presenter say say nipa na obu o manimtia atwitwi fa o mo so no ekwan be na odom befa so ekwan ben and odom befa so hwe this same person comment o be making asante mam santifo kra de ya de your friend saying gold kra ya kwa mamu a money so
but Bombay
hey after my kasa 8 minutes kwa kasa 20 minutes 20 minutes that be ucham so time do
I'm giving you 13 minutes
I'm saying Kriwala me in time no kasa 20 almost 20 minutes ti yes na on me tell me can say the letter commissioner enkosi say Ghana mrade ye de ba ya adwuma no nipa bia for man for
okay
if some mrade see and say statement to be free one so be man di so and say statement to be free one ma kire say we are divisionists and I say we are separatists ya obati cha man no mu because as a president we na say we na kon man bom ba mra wo pre mpono wo pre as ka wo form bro ho ase ka asem dam ya to abama no what there this section be of the country there umpa wo mo na tie dia kunya no wa dia bi say sankofo no ekwan ben na papa we odom be faso
mate Mr. Wallace sorry Mr. Duncan Boateng
I say nankan say so bi kra ka ha say o ka asem na
I don't go kai one can be
timo na che say nipa no wami
yeah
what they want to do
and what can ask mama
yes what I say
means a plant
mean the other me hwen say yeah ka say ethnocentric comments na dey kika ho no enye no nka adongo ko kai no then former president Mahama embe condemn straight you don't reiterate what must say
yeah
it is a whole time be sisu dua bi mu na say you mean what you want to say okay honestly speaking he's creating a big problem for ono ane ho ne achim and said them the shots in America no every individual vote counts
yeah
see so you do election against ya me na me gira me nyan kama watch man no yipa kama hwe man no ye pa because enya passe wom asoma me na ka say we kran say nkabado me masa
election year na make that comment
yeah adwuma no say
obi a penny
say eni ka obi
adwuma ya penny enti say nya
nipa na okasa so carry it
ye de ba beto and now even with this social media and yeah radio cry now and almost everybody is a media person obi biara has a journey so far as our friends smartphone obetim dey in some akoto meaning obi has a journey and what I want to say is let us watch what we say. Let us be very mindful yan shey pass yasama ye dey ba bontene no sabi ebru ehun bebe nyam Bible say yami enum asem mranyam da enchino
Okay.
so I say and this na e could hear na the of all as ka Akufo-Addo ka friend say that be die
come for no.
You saw how Ghana now, including NDC as a party, said you won't see horror no fire. Wouldn't say 2012. President Akufo-Addo. One winning election, no, not 5 years. That's so.
Election do winning.
But I said, it did no. But it's because a man for whom say be a brewer to training. And this so cancer same way not a fa import a chimney back compare. Back compare a one.
What communia?
Master. You say be a brilliant for me. I dear back home who may need you home, papa.
And it's from on Tafon.
Come back to quite no bedroom. Nani near being so and now being so free, no ba, no babetonwa. So nim ni fear, so nim ni fear, so once our nene kakasa ba compared there. Ninia.
Martin,
is it?
Mr. J. Mamanasi, Mr. Kofi J. He's the CEO for Save Ghana Foundation. I'm still waiting for your messages on 0245 550 444 0245 550.
I think mafia running the statue. Chasing the elephant into the bush.
Nasaka one also be shame.
Saka what the mafia running the grow. Chasing the elephant into 2008. Adi, a friend say, Ata Kennedy. You were the campaign manager for Akufo-Addo. 2008 elections. And was it there's a mafia, Nipa group, Bika Krebi, any Akufo-Addo in the Bopo. Anyway, Satan nothing for no more demonstration. Here the thing for
no. Sorry for coming in. Me bana sabi ono ba ko na udi ba tama chese me so be ni biana
Kennedy Ata Kennedy oyeden Akufo-Addo die ni
say ne me fa say party bi mu asemo si it doesn't mean say should
chasing the elephant into the bush the Achim mafia
Mati
I don't Achim for na demonstrate at that time tie die Akufo-Addo kana God has ordained Akufo-Addo family to rule Ghana. God has ordained Akufo-Addo's family to rule Ghana, November 18, 2019. And what can we? As you say, yet is in Yankopono, Eddie, Akufo-Addo, a chimney in Crawford, someone never said Ghana perpetually.
I have a bit minimum about
Finance Minister Akufo-Addo has disclosed in an interview monitored by GhanaWorld.com that the Akufo-Addo family has been ordained by God to see to the affairs of the state till eternity.
Prophecy.
Till eternity.
Prophecy.
One
where is a prophecy?
My sons are very qualified for NCA state jobs or Safumafo and the can't we. One what it here? Here.
When the master of
the cat. Oh my, NDC for a day, I did.
Where dear? Who do you want here? Me that say, hey, asemna ye kana. Ase yedi di agro no enya ade ya asem ketewa mpo se we ye media law ye na ye Jordan say ku school ya benedwuma no no it talks about racial sentiments and racial incitement. It's all about these ethnocentric divisions in the comments M1. Wimpo ya can just one side of the entirety of Ghana no hwe hitia adiaba nka can be say 3 or 4 ka Ghana e bia sese nka nya de etia sende na me no me suggest issue bi wo Ashefem o sister station me person ka metimi sa team wo ha biem if say efrimre santen na NDC for a preachy ethnicity sa pese omon fa ethnicity so na omoma basabasa bo man nti me suggesting say we say penifo akaka bi say afutuo ensakra nipa di say nsore enti no me pesenka NDC fo no omo yemo fa nsohwem no mo fa nsohwemu a na ebia ombenya nsakrae se futuo de ama omo a omo fa eni say Said me di kan say Ghana no yɛkyekyɛ mu dada. Regions will be aguni baby. Sanke ye to aba ye to no Ghana ha no. Sanke di John Mama na nkɔfo no chi ne yɛde to aba on ethnic lines NDC continue we election for Ghana ha da. If say accounts we constitute the majority. Accounts we take about 8 regions of this country. You say it started Bibeka hon accounts. Into Kabere no near contest. See a corner in that trap line now. In the pese in so when pese me ba in so when na me pese e to ga oh population so wo no ani pe wo no e kana asem no 88 no 8 no 8 no is for MPP nkwon but ansana 8 na aka no ansana 8 na aka na ye afrim akan majority of accounts are for MPP said the northerners and then the Botelians for NDC no it is up person beside the person me kire so me the me ka question say now no me pese enka ye nuanum northerners ni binum ne other tribes na omo no de sebe omo dwen papa na Ghana ye die dom te obi ti sa bamba ben ni cruise no kan po omo chew na region bia no na se tribe bia no ene ne ho yan obia nyene de ho ban na obia ni ne ho so na ye hwedu obesu obia ni ne ho so obi biara nya achem accounts bede ye ho accounts so that here na nka obia ne ho na ye hwedu obesu amwa yan nka jo mama na o preach sa ethnocentrism ona nka beba sa be pacha se da bia mo yotumi sa nka mo nti anu akire se ka fa chapa ne ba ne e ka bom wie bie ma enu na nka sa ne ma we nkom bejai anu na sa ne ma we nkom bejai so that here what you man mu wo so per president yedi wo kasa bia titi nipa mu wo kasa bia titi nipa mu ke oba omoba manhia kura menia omba manhia no ai so wo de esi ho opimso wanya opimso otumfo etufo na oba no sore ya asema kan say obi abanye wo gina otumfo anim bombe e ka chen say obi abanye wala say the me kan say sa ne ma na ekoso no as a CMA electoral commissioner kwan na political party bia because you see Ghana na yuru the regions in na kabum na Ghana is how do oni si ba akoso na wo kire say unno Ghana for nyina you don't qualify say umpo ye be register na odi kura ba ballot paper so am ya to so abakura mwawe ndi John Mama de omo yin film he doesn't qualify to be candidate
Bombe
2016 election from there I met
and say you every police adwumakunum we dey kakra bi 2 minutes na town no
utie sa na ese kono nipa bia so ye adwuma na se na adwen ne se one de ye untouchable nyama bebre kwaso enye enu na ma some of the police majority of the police officials no omo eye de omo pe ono no hu se wo ka bibi ntine bia onam ka kwa ne finfini a wo se machiwa kwatra kanta back so hwa no mo nam wa o hemra no so no wu ni mra no so wu nam finfini ho obi kura ko na kwan na police ni o sha atade o se ma mentinem okotena ka enu penam so police ni o timunti no finfini
me ba jodin be akasa free
ya ma me fa sa se mu e menka mene o se
microphone wa heva bombe
ma mene me party for enkasa kakra NPP ye pese me kan se ade ba ko hu hia pa no se ye de manifesto aba woman di no akọ Ghana for trim nti why me see your mama di na ebo no bebrebe no ye nya ibo because obi a Ghana for ato aba pam no de nya ni wo na ono so anka nya kwan krasa kasa ba gira monto aba man bi de ya nto aba pam no na otimi sa aba sa monto ma me nya wo ya to aba pam nti ye manifesto no ye nka ho asem ye nya ndisi manifesto ho asem ka ye na na kufu ado ye mu ni di ni enyuma pa ye yi your mama di every ya no
Council causing financial loss to the state.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I like you the way you host your programs. Masema enye enchamunko. Be some questions. I like that.
Yanko eneja.
Meda CP Uncle Wallace, my friend human centered Wallace, or doing nipa. Na manyo semene ya na to the bia na ya na hadwi nye say cry no position asem toa say the papa yi bisi ene waye no no sampa waye ja ho de mbona baso ho pa yi pia ko fa so ye na manyo se na me sire no na ma kire madwen kakra we pani entu panifo ma kire madwen kakra ho na se ko tuma se mu anka boy ba utie ethnocentric comments. Ya di wura ya manyusimu. Enu na akofa eno demonstration kakraka ochiman. Ye no. Abetunosi. Tina mekan da se. Mi say ye wo professor say amateur. And ye work professional. Obi amateur in something. You just take interest in it.
And for results.
You just take interest in it. Interest be as or the gene ni bi. To on tiasie. To do baby ano. Nipa binya ho asamaka.
Why saying that?
And you do a professional. Yeah, dinner all ye no. Yes, or ye keke. He knows it. He understands it. He knows the nitty-gritties of it. Because say ya de beba, me do it to ya de beba. So impact, you see your positive impact and negative impact. He weighs both. Then he sees what will be the best outcome. And then you depend from him to be at you say, nipa idea, unimikasa, unimnioye. That is oratorship. Sir, what you say?
That's the
oratorship. Orator, because we be orator, we be unimkasa. So that's here. Me di entina me sha say the way me preamble. As a change in say politics na ye no so won tiasia abribia benya problem expression your mama and the entirety of NDC me hu say to wo just like that
then to wo
amanyo no to wo akwanya no to wo cause Lawrence ko fa bae run the tuo and be tu abangu ye and through that what the NDC. So that's here. They did not plan, say, how much than trust say, ye prepare a baya manusem.
But quite apart from a 2 or 7 content from 92 di bano.
I feel a master. So, my new chiria won't intimacy. To be a question, and I jump forward and I say, I go back. To my coming kakra. Anything, and say, we are politicians. The Etienne say, o mainu ye nyina ye dia na ye nyina na sase ne ntimi na prepare obia so fata obia wo stake na say share ewo the stake of the country etimra no aye share ne kire say enam se ye nyina ye ntimi ko Jubilee House ye nyina ntimi nya man ye ntimi montiti amanyokuo na Monfa monsam mu Ghana fo nim yenti a opese ode o man na man na obedi so eto na simu a no de ama enu nti no mea wo pese wo gi metumi me sovereign power me mfa mawo na fa bedi me so na umume wunya kwanya bia na wo kasa tietia yen wunya kwanya bia dia wo pe na wo ye impo waye mfumsuo na oman se je mfumsuo tum na pachaw you can wetimi utimi ye press conference na wo sa ka kire oman fo no opa om kokromutin dia bedi oman so se me mpachaw ne empachaw kina me mpachaw ne empachaw kina sa actions no there di pepe me yeti ase se nipa na de na wo se fama no onim to the man ontimi nkura ebe basa enu nti na bibia NDC fo nya akonya bedi o man so na problems owo opposition boy
problems been there
oh esa town be wa inya uti Ghana ha o ti nya some waste time ho me mfa mfiri akiri a ma me maw three aspect of it Rollins time and na bank ya adi nipa sika edwane e sha ase Piram so bet we bia na wunyini so bet nka that the first time bank bi di Ghana sika dwane ye once the time and na kom che chirenche etusi Ghana so it 3 kom so what ya the 3 kom sa tamu ja banche no dwane konkonte na ho no a wa pa kwan bi so ma na wo ho na no akoyam mo be kan di once the time piram wie ko fosika de ko just like that but pimne yehu wo ma chiri kwan so what as here ana meals buy same problems ye share bi Mahama de ene edutwam Mahama de edutwam
former president Mahama
he pranked the whole nation tio the entire na person my address no former ne say former no o se ompe
candidate Mahama
good candidate Mahama and them know ya bi so what I say and o pranked the whole country into darkness obi also poor man so die achim community no so what I say sa achim population 2 million kura na so otimi nya mu 500,000 and pound do baby na odi wo mu nam sa akwan we say so no na pesa me ka kire wo say sa nipa no politics ya say on politics ya say what politics ya say in election year you cannot hold a whole a region into dispute.
Region
Achimja Eastern.
When say Eastern, but a part of.
Oh, Debbie. What are Santia? I didn't part of.
Dance for the notion will be like
oh, Achim Mafia. Achim for Eastern for no a dear from me, Achim for.
You come say you for club for your other
Uti. Mama just say the person say. Almost constitute Eastern region. How long? How often do you hear their walking? How often? And now what is here? Can't go the workers here. How often out is how often out? How often? And out. So what you say? And the air can't question say. The American question say. What the politics ya say mpo se nipa ba ko pese e na wo kasa tie na say what the politics you no do that. You no do that. So this particular NDC as a party no. Omo sha asie say ombeke ka Ghana fu tra bom enyene. Cause abi bi om rezi a na ye hwa wo mo na ye jai. So omo fa say but the American ko sinya na say me nkobi kase achim asante northern na siremni anwonani ni sahade no just like that and come problem on cosmetia me asantini nso saka pesa me asantini a ayatimdidi we ya buruni na mkaso ya buruni a ayatimdidi
but de be so no
what ya see ana de be so no so kura mpo no akiri no me de me deep blame no mano anyone was stratified the whole country into geographic setups. Yes, we may divide into geographic setups. There were and then 16 geographic setups. No. So what you see? But about saying and the moon is any pabako. The any pabako. About saying na muchi chemu. Say mua mudia muka kasabako into mumontra. Muchi chemu in that order. Cultural similarities. Die gugugu akuakuakuakuakuakuakuaku na mpomuchiche manya na mix enti sanasa ani ma we say koso a die all kan ne no sabi ota frache ese ye nyina ma ne hunu say wa yira kwan nanso no yesi ebisa ne say let us check the history behind the demarcation of the country into these geographic areas now ama okomu a ya groups mo amkasa baako mo amwo cultural similarities na nyina die na ba omutiri mo ye ne saa it differences ne de ochiche Ghana mu no e de abadada okay na nso nyina nkosie no ya je hutum se ye nipa baako
one Ghana one people
ye nipa baako nse uji se ye nipa baako na wo so ba bepa konya di Ghana constitution so me ati ase cause me matro challenge to letter commission yeah commissioner down matro challenge am say John Mahama ex-president, not say candidate Mahama today. so mamra ye adwuma. He doesn't qualify to be a candidate, let alone becoming president of Ghana.
Why?
Thank you. The why, any the respond and say, Constitution of Ghana no, I catch it. Say young former political person, no, every symbol or color be able to choose biano. You should not have representation of a certain sect of the country. And as I said, obi any bokara no so a challenge say where the Asante for. And as some person to party ni dia and say we are ethnocentric. Asante for party. What say obi bisada? Bro for party. Say you nationalistic. Emblem na say the symbol be able to choose biano. You should represent the whole nation. And say acquire one particular group be near Kasa be a way as for party to Pabedobi. No. The constitution and a man of Bassa. And it's a choose political party be so. I'm an about be do a man so. Say we choose political party or no bow, but me a common in a bomb.
So you are saying this based on his comments and I said
maybe
based on the
Tio meba and tell me say the American say. Comments now, candidate mama are making. Or Cassetia a chimfo. Yeah, one part of the region. Yes, a John Mama Namin Pengu. Some from Swabisi, not in bear president here. Me beside presenter say, Sani Pana, oh, Buomanim Tia, a chief for almost no. A quamban or Dombefaso. A quambay and Odom Befaso. Share this same person comments over making a Santimama. Santifor Cradi. Yade. Your friend saying, go to cry a money so.
But Bombay,
hey, after my Casa 8 minutes, 20 minutes. 20 minutes, I will some time to do.
I'm giving you 13 minutes.
I'm saying, me in the town. Okay, sir, 20, almost 20 minutes. And to your anonymous. Tell me, can say, the me can say, the letter commissioner. And Cosi said, Ghana, Mradia, the Bayer Jumano. Nipa beer for minor for.
Okay.
If some man see and a statement to be through and also before money this one, and say statement to be through on my chest say we are divisionists and I say we are separatists. Yeah, about our man because as a president, when I saw when I come man boom, but I'm now pray mpono, who pray as a cow form brown wasi can't some damia to Abamano. What dare this section be of the country there? Power. But yet, you couldn't know. Jebison said, sound call for no, a crown bay and a papa way. Or don't be fast.
Mate, Mr. Wallace, sorry, Mr. Duncan Boate.
Yɛba yi no yɛn nyinaa yɛ nim sɛ aban no ɛkan sɛsɛrɛsi na na do dan kɔ kan sɛ ɔbɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ yɛsi kasɛm ɔbɛhwɛ so yie na ɛtumi aboa yɛ na aban dada no aye jo mahama aban ne de obebu ye na obebo ye kro no so ade e wo mu ne say ndc aban under John Mahama no omu ye interchanges mienu no e cost ye $440 million.
Say $440
million.
Locations of the interchanges.
Location of interchanges no na me fan show ha. So betimi zoom in wadwa. Circle interchange.
Accra.
Okay.
Circle
interchange.
Dubai no nie. Okay.
Dubai na do any.
All right.
It cost to Ghana for $260 million.
Bakope no.
Bakope.
Okay.
$260 million.
Hey.
Yes. Bako aya Kaswa interchange. Eno ya de adwo mama ya no anwie Kaswa. Eno so no ne bo no kosi $170 million. One year completed. $170 million.
Yeah, na say enye usable.
I say wo mu nwie. Why baby wo mu nwie. It cost $170 million. The interchange mienu we ya wo hu no. Yeah, circle interchange we. Any Kaswa we ya Jomama ne ya this for ya no. $440 million. Now, His Excellency Nana buy. Can you make dear what dear our de Boagana? We Obesebe Lamte interchange.
Yes, sir.
Obesebe Lamte interchange, $133 million. $133 million.
Obesebe Lamte Accra.
Obesebe Lamte. His Excellency, why 4? Yeah, we use this year. $133 million.
Okay.
Temamoto way interchange. Obevie started 2018.
Okay.
February and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had a soccer ball for. And 2020 June, the year sir. And no equals to $55 million. People 10 years. 55 million.
Full interchange.
And no so you have accessories a walk home. Nina Ghana Hanover. And Chenta no cry about the 3 rows neck on any $55 million. And so be there back cost to $270 million. Now, after Upagasia, His Excellency the President, or ye Pukwasi interchange. Pukwasi interchange we are seeing a bay. It was 9, the biggest interchange in West Africa. First one, Ubenian was South Africa. Second one, Ghana had the biggest one. Yeah, no, Ubeshaha. Uben was Zilai Roots. Yeah, come home and on the completion on the what I say. Yeah, no, it cost to $60 million. $60 million.
Are they second highest, largest in Africa? Yes, West Africa.
$60 million and the cost to you.
How?
Yeah, and how no I bet you was here. After Uber last one we are no one Tamale interchange. Tamale interchange, and we see $35 million. The first interchange in the north. $35 million. It will come here and sending in Abuma. About $286 million.
That's a Nibakum.
And
a circle, the any pet.
Yes, I was second, and second, but you know,
difference naked to a
second of what me at 9. Now, deal with your money, boss, and say, Nina, no, a banana farm and Nipabaco, what they call tender.
Okay,
and my company is never be tender. We the best out of them, and the idea Jumanama, and only difference,
Number who set price no difference above Sadia, who are bam, dear Namaya found.
To was every no, yeah, a come one, and no quiet resource, no, a Tamale interchange.
Okay,
Tamale interchange, Chinese one that do music Babaya. It's in one of this caneba and one a room contract.
You put so sauce in 35 million.
Or more sicker. Or the Bayan may see the Amma, Missy Mamma contract and smile. It's a no quan, a Tamale interchange way. And no quan a yadia, yes, they are coming and
Yakana Cortenda,
dear Cortenda. And Nutino, Omutimina value for money. John Muhammad, and what my Brazilian company. And one is a buyer, no friend was a buyer. In the Kabi or the baby, I don't know what they are too. In the son are grown up for you. And the Katagana putting in and say, Sadly, we know a can be which was saying, Excellency the President. Second year, the money piano, or just year, will beat me a name more. One interchange for Mahama is equal to 4 interchanges.
Thank you, Dad.
For Mama in a home, near my Excellency in Yajuman Maya. And nothing I never be blow our ya. Nay, and this 1 and I'm so one to scanning, no, this can be Yadipa. I'm a gun and answer inside there.
Titu ni na nanom a omo ye the custodian of our culture. Omo for manu to sasemu mu. And na asofo nso so religious leaders. The kind religious leaders anya asofo no kwa malam for ene nkramofo mpanimfo nyina. Obi amfa na no ntum. Se obi nyusu obi se bia media me ye kramoni nti na monto aba mame. Na media me ye kristoni nti na monto aba mame. Na media me free sa bia we nti na monto aba mame. Omo koye sa ade na. A recipe for disaster. Said the politicians, especially MPP, NDC, say the politics, a fan. Time. I will host someone and the woman. Another point is the politics of insult. That you can't insult, and yet direct insult to Nkwa, but I did be or her, Cassabi or her, said you'll be a canon of crown. We are not a idea who did. Microphobia tem, and I saw the chancrophobia poakinos I never come. Dear best say, anonymity no say from former President Mahama, and no more say this time around it should be politics of issues. Yeah. Why has it now turned say if instead of say you be raising issues, you be can someone. And no nebia because it is among the manifestos near the idea by there are issues therein. I see you now digesting you who say as someone on the ababe to Jano, the woman a bit my boy. Why are we diverting those issues now see a canon? Even your more friends is two parties and they are say historically it means your my mother say President our free so our former. Or say I'm baby, as a abijina, no ne the increment I also transfer 4 years, also at Mummy Nama by Mupay. Yes, so Ubia won't be also think once not Ghana for Jinas or the Tuababa. That kind of ethnocentric politics, Nadia. I think that Ghanaians, everybody, they will be better or be raised or by yes, I didn't be no. But two Ghana for say, get to Abantiano. Yeah. Because or member for. Exactly.
How are you going to coordinate with them?
Because or member for. Or you be a on shares or money in young Cambomoa. Ya pray near Nyano over the years, no, a better now. What I said, can one some who can be no mind you who say yes, when someone who can a task moon. And Uncle Father see free education or buy anyway, free education. Also say, oh, we are infrastructure. You are also talking of infrastructure. Young way the two. And I young way more someone more canon. Young who say, Ghana for we and you pay a bit my boy. Then say, if you are the okay. Oh, bah, now can I say Massa, don't forget you have created enmity with Asantes. And therefore, Asante for you to die.
No matter what you do,
no matter. Until I do maybe, President, former President Mahama can say, Asante Mama, the one here, the gold to cry a choir. One should hear, send your poster, send your normal city into one penny. Young to that, no matter what you do. Say, Asante Mama, now non-crophobia raise issue, say, MPP bar, development in Shadan Koso. What I said. Could you believe, say, as a voter region during the time of Kufo? Omakwain, Oyepa, Kufo time. Na Kumasi for Nesu, Sadena, and Sana Omokofa as a interchange and that of Nanka. So, those interchanges, no normal development in the course of the breed. But I said, voter regions are quite, many will be far, that time. What was one year, quite ye partner Kumasenso, and as Santimai Musofa. And irrespective of who you have MPP, irrespective of what you do, now say, when Yaman as a public the man voter region for your baby as so many. But I said, Samson no be back. Yeah, you can vote out. Wouldn't say individual vote, every individual vote counts. Every individual vote counts. I don't know, assembly, so I mean, I may count someone who say, Okra won't go cry one to my I'm sorry. Some men, man, to my bush, your phone now, make sure they will not vote for you. Abe, boom, no, 2 for 1. It's some rubber bonnet. Sure. Everybody in my family, including Roma, make my influence. No, my influence here at Wabatiao. So the respect everybody so far as voting is concerned. For respect ma ubia. Who de sam papa mu ko bamua. Me da me tufo. Say Ghana for come December 7th. Ya ko akoto aba no. Obi biara or this papa mu no ebeba no. Yen to abentia no completely.
Mr. Kofi J and CEO for Emma Save Ghana Foundation. I had wanted to even ask you what Save Ghana is about, but I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you again. Now, Mr. Kofi J and Oten and Kano. Mr. Wallace. Mr. Shem.
Oh, me who ye?
Yeah, the do so do sunini. Sembia ya ka de papa mu titimu baba ya mamu. Na mama nyosem sunti. Ja. Na yenko.
We the mesre na NDC for am in particular the Zongo communities. Politics. FP Ghana and ye kan wasem. Sadi we nyina ense da ma Ghana bebre eba embra na Nana Danko Akufo-Addo opre presidency. Enema bebre o ha emre bi atwa mu no o makika e free ono no group na mu ankasa nyese MPP as a party but from Nana Danko Akufo-Addo and his camp. Even dia hin o we kaya deputy agri minister be what the Kwetu MPP member of parliament for Achimda and I know a deputy agri minister. 2nd September 2020. Yes, I do. No, not 2nd September 2020. Kwetu and maybe a chemu. I can't seem be a coffin, same be a the Okokan say Watna Northern region for a long time. Only is in for Atna for a long time. Now the one who say is in for Kanokre. Into a Monkanokre say so mono ye fukra no more harvest ya. Almost a day to Nasi. Some koji bank loan no ma waka bank adi for ni say adwuma na omo disika ye na adwuma na se nti omo ntimi metua say sika no
agri minister no deputy
agri minister I remember that comment Kwetu ena northern sea sorry ena he eventually no or resign Kwetu no eventually he resigned onu achi no Osafo Mafo 2015 publication here also the group to protest Osafo Mafo's ethnocentric comments. The pressure group we are from Coalition for Defense of Equal Citizenship, CODEC, will today hit the street to protest what they call ethnocentric pronouncement made by members of the opposition New Patriotic Party. And the Omo can say, City News 4 ena omo initiate adibi ena Osafo Mafo tape bi omo boy na tape no mu no na Osafo Mafo ka se o hwe Ghana ha regions makum be enum ena yenya yeniema bebre efri bo central region bo eastern region bo central region bo bro ahafo region ena obo western region. Now you have all the resources, but you have no say in the management of your resources. And that is what is happening. Your development depends on the one who has no resources. The tape is said to have been recorded at the meeting between Osafo Mafo and the MPP's Council of Elders in the Eastern region. As somebody can say, so you saw 5 years. Naturally, say northern region, you said there be and free. Upper East, you said there be and free. Upper West, you said there be and free. Voter region, you said there be and free. Greater Accra and said nya bibia mfiri ho. Nti yan said nya bibia potin mfiri ho no say enisi yi enipa ema ne yema no position bi a eson. That is what he's saying.
According to your interpretation.
That is what he said. But I mean kan yi na men kan kire ha. Ha o say. Safo ma for say. Me kan yi pa no. Na me. O say he also suggested that the helm of affairs in the country should rest in the 5 regions with the most resources, not the other way.
The Ashanti Regional Communication Director of New Patriotic Party, Dr. Che, na Yanene Chichun Komo. Afa afutu sembia opese odema the party through communicators yodomo ye adwuma ene Ghana menyina ti Dr. Che ene Yanene Chichun. Data wadaroma.
Yes. Yeah.
MPP inu se mo komonim.
Yeah.
What the manifesto aba. Mo communicators no do na so kasa.
Yeah.
Efa manifesto no.
Yes.
Na ya na o monitor ebinom center o monitor nyina on NDC.
Yeah.
Ora o ma no ne pese e ba na e beti se bia wo nsem bia o be kan fa communicators no ama o so bia.
Yes. But as mami ni kan cha na men pancha ma ahwefo ne yetefo ne nyina. Mami ni kan bo communicators na baso. Omo ye adwuma. College nso so omo ye adwuma. Obi bia o jemo de ma party bia no. Ejiri se o se ebo ma baso. Na ye se omo kwa so omo koso no omo ye adwuma no. Sana embra no e che. Eto so mi no nso so no mami fa ko le na mi mo wan kasa so baso. Ewo dwuma de so kwa obi so a nso so wo di.
That's.
Okwa ni nyame ani. Wo didi ma pase. Ni ya wo Ghana ha nyina no. Abibia ye nim se MPP eba hihye ema ne yeye na NDC aba na oba be se Ghana ni bia ni abibia MPP bebe bia no ode puntu kase na di pre o my Ghana NDC ba no ma ba betu esa wonti no bia adue no enya dia eye NDC fo zi omu ka no na me gidi se e wo se no ye ka ye tie mu ase ni opese obeye 2020 je no asem ye ka. This is the first time in Ghana's history. A baby a better kunaso. Ya ono what me adin kunim atra kunya so fie nwatwe. Na ban fofo so aba better kunaso. Asisi an ono da so teso. The say wonti no, I was see a hwe say records no ne say it's a battle of by obey my e fie nwatwe. And I did be there and I end this no so no or MPP by and so fie na no way. And no name adwuma me gidi say was ye hwene ye ho adwuma enti no menyi ni se wo se ye ha ye ho se a obi na ko ka NDC fo asem mo se ye ba 2020 nya de eye na da NDC ka che so mbe mai one time premium confirm omo ka che so omo ba omo mai ambulances ma ko 161 165 anye ye MPP do ka ya no se obe ma ambulance one constituency one ambulance oba ye wa ye o ka che so obe twa health insurance oba ye wa ye because obey planting for food and jobs over here. It's a no any the main important thing. I was so be away party communicated piano or no can was it. This time around the manifesto now you buy ya bet say Ghana for na dey back for you woman say ya same dey ya be and I said ya 2016 manifesto now you buy no ya say agenda for jobs and money and you can want some the check Ghana for agenda for jobs you can see ya be ya money be pay oba bedu 2020 we are ya show adia ya kasi ya beye oba economy oba agri oba bebia no a o page na me bia cho na so betimi azumu in on it when we say actual the accounting for our stewardship o accounting for our stewardship na oba the first page now ya adia ya cho ho no e wo ha se ya show say adia ya kasi ya beba aba beye eno no ho what we said we would do so actually has here ebe can ni na show us say be ya won so at least we nya idea of what we are talking about enu ni okay we now a show say government machinery that works digitizing government services enu ni ya show promises ayeye ene de ya so far na fe wo ba conclusion na ya show de o pese ye it in 3 places I know and the climate manifesto aye kan ho ase you can't digitizing government services no e ya de bia me gidi se ene e ne ma bia ye yankasa kra no ye Ghana fo no ya fa ne fofofo se ye nka ho asem ba me kana me de esesu bia de so se eno ne ade a e propel economic growth no e de amaye e di kan ene so wo kan se ya digitization ni ti no enya de wo se wo kọ passport officer wo kọ your passport ni nyina ye so se papa abana ye a e boaye wo click on the where you phone this one wo be consult one wo betimi ayo passport ade e tire no ne se obi ye middleman na so wo ba ba ju sika papa ne ko your passport na ba ne ene ni nyina ye twam iti ama system no aye mre aye den e de ama let us be your driving license through your phone wo betimi aye o kan ya na edum a wo be so oto wo recharge a through your phone wo betimi aye iti ama system no aye mre government services ni nyina no ene aye mre obezo otua water bill obezo otua electricity ni nyina na ye ama na timi ayeme sisi ya ye wo wise ya ye kase no interoperability aba first no ukuta mobile money na obezo ye MTN na aje se ko MTN so ene ya ye nhese na all networks le be na e be koso obezo o se wo bank you can do it through your mobile telephone network etino digitalization no abeboa ye kase na nipa na de anye ska be se oboto nti no wo hu so mfa so ba betimi akase ye nyina no ye nya so faso se ne wo to asase obi ntimi mu atese wo ko website na atse asase we ya ton asase we ya ton e wo lands commission e woni ho ka na wo ko to a wo be bo number no wo bo code na hye so ka we ye ka bia ya ko bia ye ka bia ya ma nti no amma ye nhye ni nyina no ye den etimi aye mre e de ama ye nti we give said that is the message that we have to sell to the people of Ghana for ye ni short memories ye wo adwene a ye de ye adwuma eni nyina so ya tene ma na se nkoda na na ko school be 400,000 no o ma be ka ho
danko
yeah and me give say ya can there's a lot I bit me aka ho say over education just say the abana boa as we speak now na nkoda wo mo ko o mo tina 300,000 a year and abana we buy or when we mo na wo school no isi ano o mo ko it me there bit me aka na me there say we pia we say me and say MPP has more than enough to talk about. Let us forget about what the LDC people want to do or say. Then you know, I'm going to make yourself 5 seconds. Manifesto no more buy and woman to me and Tom. Almost 2 years no, I can't afford to and woman find it. It is not fair no more by the committee. I tell say a baby. Question and they said, the money buy 2012. The only buy 2000 and I didn't know we more and I was here and I did my dinner. The best man for the job, Mayor Nanado, and will prove beyond all doubt to say, why yet Jumano, Amanabuso. The manifesto not talks to it. The name I buy within the first 3 years and 6 months, it speaks volumes of itself. You know, I want to see a dear nation now. Because this is a year, is annual.
Dr. Baby Bakwa, a Nipano Dono, Peso Munya Muntia, Pane. Renting issue na one constitution say we be support ama manfortuna high dining what me am a bit
yes I know say this year no am na yes say well we will secondary school now be say or say secondary school wa show me I know you free ama school tade wa books ama I just I never go back to house dressing all the amount we use already 3 times a day we school no so what's the exams no no why you free then the amount of papa here was you now person call university in so and also say that they also point the guarantee they also ya and say we do Ghana card ever come now they admission letter na come na fi o ma hwe na ya wo prate ni na ma say be ya obi be ka say me from national security ma me guarantee ma na and also so ya e dey for we so na we were 2 years to pay first the national service won share me bia second year no you free and son of tell you when you do man so a the problem back one ya never and man tell him about when they say but me ko baby no anya juma when you juma baby obeda on me ti betu no na no so ya sem the say won't no obi ka say be 10 years advance be 2 years advance 2 years advance abani say there be ya ntwa umre ade abani be ya ade aboa no nyina ne say abano mo be ade futu bi ato ya obetimi access ne ani fie wa na din commo direct it is a bia was 6 months advance I work embremona 6 months advance na abani be tua the amount na wo susu no wo ye wadwuma no wo so me na wo tua na kakra na just nyeska bia wo senka 10 million na go to a 10 million ni na ba ko ma fiwa aba ne betua saa sika na ma na fe wadwuma na wo ye no na busumi bia na bia se 100 ne beti o se 200 ne beti o na chese ye dia tete o ka no na wo so wo adwo na se obi anya adwuma won kan ese je so ko tro bi nchen je so ni ma me bi ko tena o te jantomu ni ade ade na ni nyina na yetimi ye furo ma Ghana fo ma ede o matimi anya hoto nti an chese papa na aba na ye awo se mu kana ene ma na ye kan nyina no ye gusu a ye ye enya de bi a fe ne ba be promise egusu a ye ye a me gidi se ni nyina na ya de bi a ebe bua amagana
data mbechi usemeti wasi ya pe this na je se enye wa Ghana ba de be magana ni bia na mmo bia e bia o ya bandwuma ana obema no akonya wo se betimi aboa na me na timi han dan nya Ghana ni bia
wo be access they said they work cooperative
be fa se bia meton kuruma odwom ana se mpo menya adwuma me ni ba bi da me pese mko han dan me beneficiary
abi bia no sika wo benya no na be kire because all your Juma Grano, that's a will pay no 10 million. What do you mean, what did I 20 million? Because you're better if you are kitchen. What I say, and you know, the also will pour as a penalty, will be a man that may say, yeah, we'll do home back dome. Now you share what Juma will ye, I get your wood here, send a bit me a year, send a bit me at the tip you are kitchen money at it.
But person ya baby da na ultimately e bi afi na me pe baby ada na mapa prime enya hoto so kwa de ko pe adwuma ya media me nka ho bi
da bi me gidi se ni nyina no se wo so se adwuma ase o se adwuma ase a me gidi se obetimi asese na aboa e skip e revolving fund so ko ye ni so obi o wo a wonya adwuma wonya hwe oni income bi a wo be ba be ka to se we na me gina so e dia ye na basa na be ye de ti me gidi se dia ba na hye no ya de bi a ebe boa na nyina so no ena wonya bi tfam na wowie utimi si odi a na wokọ na onu aketo anu so aba na onu so anya bi na onu so so ekọ abote nyina sa na nyina ya tra no obetwa wo si abote tra mro na ade ade wo de card bi na kuta ho wo kuta ska azu bibia wo pe bia wo saka sa system no bi na ba na bia ba ha me diri se be boa ye ama ye so ahoto aye pe no ye sa ye de ye sa etimi aka
data se no hu sa die we ne pe no komo chichu no ma we ye enya ne tie se NDC4 yesi untimi mi nyo mudi from kura program bi ewo kumasia na etie da so no se omo manifesto no mo twere ne borofo no omo kiremu wotwi ama asantefo ne ada akan speaking people no atiasie yie se na otisa asem no
ya teni no di se on tibro but as here omo no dey so almost talking to I don't know how go water I don't want to watch a regional coach and when I can say no be a jazz. I don't want to see him, I'll go to him. Now, too far, Hannah Oma. As I demanded the woman declared,
yes, and the 40 who's almost
was already what Mahabe Kajo said. What do you go to cry? A quine, my time I use that so full like quine. You're not so full like quine, I say I use. Was there a Santifor no dear? Would this Capo cry? A Hama woman in so. When the close all you bunya. O ka chen sa de we ya wo ye nya de etwa yi a no wase abonyu ma kire wase ye nti obi a enti onye obi a ye ade fufu bi ade ma ye na se amu o ye se wo bo tu fo wo ye tu wo mu fu na wi ye na nanu mani o mu ka chen se ese obi a banya enti no gogo we ye gogo bi a o mu mu asante mai na nya de a wo mu respect asante mai enti ye de ka chu obi bi a na se mo ni na ho e mo obi me dada ho de bi a me ka no me se wonanka o yi ne honam no fi ho a ne se bro no ataso ho eti ye change of dress bi no akọ change the dress or the person obeye wa bro de honam no ne bro na wo ne se na ataso ho do kro na ne ye kana se enya de foforo bi a no mo de breye ene mo mu ka tie ye so mu ba wo mu ba be ye no o mo timi anje enti no nya de bi a ye betimi aka ho ase me mo ma de wo se ye clear ne se Fourth Republic we Joma ma ne NDC wo mu na ya banya wo mu pro atete kra Oma lusuba 1 million votes plus. It's no record in the home. I will be a speaker over there. It will lusuba this margin. Not gonna for reject you. Then all person will catch and say, whom we better say about not is now. Now, please, and that be a sanity. As at the members of yet to yet here once you know, dear, you can even now. At the end of your papa, and you is over here, Simon. Let the old comments from can see a good advert, a good advert does not support a bad product and vice versa. What I say, until we did work and carry sanity. A good advert does not support a bad product. And for who said the advert over here, sɛ product no nya sɛ advert no woyɛ obi a wopam adeɛ sɛ me na wohyɛ amena mu kora no a people will find car to come to you yɛnnua ma no bi wɔ asafo obu kɔbɔ mu ti wɔ kɔnɔngo ebi kɔbɔ wɔ kwada so adedra ɛso so yɛwɔ hairdressers bebree wɔ asafo ti sɛ pɛpɛpɛ na teɛ ɛmfa ho ɛmpɛ dodo a bɛkyerɛkyerɛ adeɛ no mu adeɛ no nyɛ papa a ɛnyɛ papa ɛyɛ adada okase esu ɔmo sɛ yɛ azan nko ara na ɔmo yɛ ɛnɛma bi a wɔn bɛka ne nyinaa no yɛde ahyehyɛ mu kɛkɛ sɛ yɛkɔ ne ghanafoɔ hyia ɛna ghanafoɔ sɛ yɛ maame ka sɛ menkyɛ wɔn de baako aba yɛfrɛ no better ghana agenda ghana anyɛ better wɔn de baako aba enhancing the better ghana agenda ghana no antumi enhance wɔn de baako aba wɔsi changing life transforming ghana ghana transform ɛna wakɔfa people wey eti saa mmiɛnsa na ɛba yɛ ne nyinaa na people centered bi anim ana was it not people centered eti no woman lose fight in advance MPP let us be focused your percentage wey edumadi ana ye die no
finally Ghana aya amanyofo no se bi utafra che munhye dan ni nipa bi o mo qualify so mo contest for presidency ana bi se de etem bi se obi a obe contest nya wo ye president na wasade no ho bab ma Ghana for se mo hwe de maye enane ma meba se candidate ma ne kofo kan nyina no boye wa bra no wo abam mu ena wo gina eno so esan de contest ka che Ghana for se mo hwe de maye na mo ntoma me ena Ghana for se ya hwe ankoyi ediko na se nipa na san ba sa be ka che Ghana for se me na moto abetia me tantanta no mo nto aba na mame a say na hu sa statement
your guess is as good as mine. But I say, I don't know about that.
No. Do you see some sort of respect for more Ghanaians?
No respect. No respect more on one party. What you about Babina? Or sing Adia, Mahaman, or you will not candidate. Or Munko in our car, a president, a company manager. Open in our car, I take Ghana for say Mahaman in your beer, or you're credible. So beat me up about the party now. It can be this a woman only be a woman, need credible person, be home. No matter what was I napa. And this idea the MPP's problem, the NDC's problem, I almost is here. I joined the one mama. And you'll be a Ghana for me and now. And I bet that you want to visit money to money. Exactly. Let it obey problem mom. For your problem mom, which is here, and also on the whisker. But not the whisker. Okay. And or neighbor. But the end will that much money, which me the better party. Okay. And as you can see, Jerry One is away. And I'm going to away. But go party in the panel. Okay, Jerry Wallace no na kwadi no party no. And the woman name omo ya no omo hefa. Obi ate no tikata fu omo hefa. Chachu fu omo we. It will be up be atena wo dwe no. It say o si gitum say MPP mabo adwuma. Obetimi a predict percentage bi say mo bia betimi anya such and such percentage. Oh yeah, make me a catch say MPP be when the one time quick. One time. Percentage wise? Yeah, bet me almost about 57 plus. Okay. I'm telling you. 57 plus. Yeah, it will be more than that. Then you say Ghana for your form. Yeah, what you know, yeah, track Ashanti region 1 share 3 times through the support of Temawutimi. Every constituency, BNY employer. Ubia so your regional officer Biano, who constituencies are okay. Into no year, Jumano, the Jumano in your casa, the job they grant. Yakob Pia, you won't say formula, the Ningan say, oh, you're complacent. You have to continue to do the job. I'm my Nipani home, and my mouth for him. And then Nano Jumadian so MPP through His Excellency the President and now the Dampa Fufado, the Dr. Mahmoud Bawamiano. They affect every home. Into Adibia, a can with Yano. It will come, Yadia walk out bread. Yadia will turn another bread. Question and say, who do you trust? What will you buy and another do or trema? Mama ye miane, mama ye kanye free, mama ye nsio, wa boye amenen to training na so akoso. Ko dey go musku, o ma wi o ma ba. You know there are a lot of things I'm dealing with here. Double track or person you free, we will prove beyond all doubt. Says prices almost about 1029. Adding now or the other. Now we just prices are what you put you up within such short space of time here. We don't quite me so. So to me, Busapa, place within 5 years here. What does that one if the Monica Secondary School, Hostela, the Seawalker here, a Tremabo. Oba says, so I'm a Guinness Obe who was the Anglican Secondary School. Oba says, so a Gumo, Bebrebe, Pokra Secondary School. Me ya no wa bodin we ya hefa
we St. Louis senior high
we bi ya
Asanteman senior high
we bi ya hefa ko
we ya Kumasi high
ko
we IT Ahmedia
ni nyina ya strategy
TI Ahmedia no
SHS hostel na yesa wo
Kumasi high senior high school I see I see.
And there are a lot of things that why you were
St. Louis senior high school.
And of course, St.
Louis senior high school.
What I say?
We need to
what I say? Okay, we say why you was me from home.
Okay.
What I say? And look how much dormitory. But there are lots of.
That's a winner. Na ebe double track nephew.
I don't know double track nephew. I yes look at there were 21 schools. Obi nyina say na come di no mu school. Take be out of the double track. If then this is what catch yourself, or baby, double tracker, it's already been done. Already, me, I had the never crowd the dada. And for running now, so school come.
St. Monica's.
Thinking now, St. Monica's. What I say, thinking now, Cassia pass St. Monica's secondary school, classroom blocks, I see. Back on a dormitory, in a way classroom. It's where you block and a young conono. You block a young conono. Because you can see the dormitory, you can see the classroom as it has been shown here to you.
You'll be able to say
what I said, and I will be able to say secondary school. All these schools have been completed in only 3 years, 3.5 years. We're winning. What I said,
12 unit classroom.
What I said, it's in the now or a band of ya or the amount of that woman school. It is a woman in our home.
12 unit.
What I said,
bro. School dinner and
that's it. Well, I see. What I say. Ningina Ubenya SHS with Mansena secondary takradi SHS. Ningina your schools are abandoned. Yes, you see, and what inside the free. And that dear would diacro. Why you do mano? I'm a Jumana a day at me. And then Kodano or you facing our double track. No, say by a double track. No, what as a team swallow SHS, Hillary Man SHS, Tia Media Formana, and a friend say, Nipo SHS. Meaning now your structures are what see so that we can eliminate our double track. In shares, I will call our bones. It's your bagaya. It's one for that in I then.
My SHS, my
SHS, you can see all of them.
Nalulugu Senior High.
Yes.
Accra Girls Senior High. I see.
You can see. Yes, everything is here. Yes, sir. Then I'm here. My mom will be here. We say so no.
We updates on ongoing infrastructure.
What I said.
To eliminate double track.
Yes.
Okay.
Where there's St. John's.
We project St. John's.
What I said. What the bank on farmers are keko. What the Kunyano near didn't in our home. St. John's. Then you know so. I say so. Pukuai. Secondary school right here in Kumasi. It is there for us to see. What I say, it's in Nina can be show. Our president to what they bar. School be no what they bar, what I say school no and empty side keke. Or bar or the Konya tables near the ding in the come home. Say by young Kodano Binya, baby, I will bet now. No matter the Omatini. Okay. I had what we are telling Ghanaians.
Your final word.
Yeah, my final word to Ghanaians then say, Ubia no question Camp 18 to 25th of.
And this is very important.
Yes, of this month. Yes, September way. And I'm saying, the dinner of Cotre, also a coffee, sending in our one, what me up, now what me the aqua traba. O didn't anymore. What to abandon your day.
Okay.
It will be beyond Conoco. After so no, Ogo Joe dinner, Missy, no, I can't Munoma question. And then through digitalization, no, I can't was sentence, and then is outside the code about. Yeah, code no media bano 1422. I may repeat 1422. Say this year no, so person who say we register now we will pay from 18th now. I dey obeying na say we be registration we voters ID number now.
Okay.
I dey aguso. No what test call 1422. Information ni na beba.
No smartphone so.
Beba smartphone so. Then no abo nya dey also nante ko woni ade.
And one 142 na say be about star BBB.
Yes, star 1422 hash.
Okay.
Na e ko pa. E ko a no ma hwe na etime de obi bia e dey am.
Let's what follow commands na beba.
No. Tu bia na ja kama. Say ade also ko wona akoye correction na no akọ. Wo hwe na bibia ye correct no na wo be. Ba ye be pese obi a be ko ho. No akọ hwe filika doti. No make sure say ni dey no abem. What say what the bem so a chirawo. Baby a wo betu waba ene ade ni nyina data no ade ma. It's a short technology now, not Dr. Bamia Ekana. What was a BPH? Ama for a day amount. It's no majority young and I am training and fire to the mom. They are mostly in Trussell. They are finding the map is excellency president and another. No, yet I am on 4 more for Nana, 4 more to do more. He's done more than enough. Let me bois. One constituency, one ambulance. Abba, and this is a manifesto. We say, Bema 165. Over to me, Abba. And no grad only buy, I know Ghana has at the time of Mufis on. They are Makuma 55. 55, the 20 I say. The only go for about 30 as we speak now. It's the Air Force Base. Bolaka, and to me, I need Pia, 207 go for Bolaka.
In the world over, it is the group with the most resources that rules and not the other way round. What does it mean? Osi wiase baby enya die free wo man mu no. Eho enipa ena wo mu di oman no so.
Enya no kure.
Enya no kure. Enya no kure. Ade gina enya no kure. President Rollins, when you are for so many years.
So still Ghana. I think me say Gabia ko use your mouth for us as a case study. Okay, but you are still mentioning Ghana.
Nigeria. Again, you free. Nigeria northern part nekesi. Indeed, there was no work on. At the same time, as you were saying this, no, when the vice president, you're northerner. The vice president, so you're northerner. Was he any be free northern regional? In Tennessee, a funny particularly be free northern region. Or say, voter region, ya at the papa be and free. Now, voter region, a black vote another. I did not go to Buddha. Was it greater Accra, never be and free? Ghana development, resources, capital, we na greater Accra or suffer mafo in the county. On what 3rd December 2012.
He is not speaking to today's issue.
Withdraw Esla Owusu's candidature immediately. I'm talking about ethnic politics. Withdraw Esla Owusu's candidature immediately. Northern Coalition demands. Or say, the coalition of northern youth groups has called on the National Executive Council of the New Patriotic Party to immediately suspend Madam Esla Owusu as a member of the party and unconditionally withdraw her candidature from the Ablikuma West constituency. I don't know more cancer. The Tiomo cancer, I say. Esla Owusu say, but for free education, people like Alaji Nusa, Haruna Idrisu, you will have been in the north rearing cattle. I didn't know cancer or say, didn't know cancer and say. Obia, free Semo, one co school, a mini, say, a mini Nempeso and Walker.
That's the one time, but the Oka, remember to say, Sankanya. Free education. Can you permit to say, dear boy, can be a common cinema? It's a bit different from the open of Chichana. Who interpretation of demanding?
Or say, what I said was that, what I said was that the last people who should kick against the free SHS policy should be those who benefit from it. They should rather be championing it because they are living examples of how education has transformed their lives. And I cited specifically the President, Haruna Idrisu, Abambaben, Muhammad Muni, Ben Kumbo, and Inusa Fuseni. Tidia was a Kanaha.
Mr. Wallace, the who can say, Manager Hono. Say, and go be candy, I think I never need more.
Maybe, or can be also cheap. Miss also further questioned. If you are living in the South, and haven't been to school, chances are you will be a petty trader somewhere. Similarly, if you are in the north and didn't go to school, you will either be a farmer or go into animal husbandry. And I don't see anything wrong with it. Is it right? Says who was out in her. No one go school. Ubediga. dem mo mu free same no wan ko school a obeye nwai
is it not true
esiremfo nkaka
but say omo mu di dwa bi so kaka
aha wo se wo ye siremni no wan ko school a duma obeye
me be say no ba je ho chi but
wo ye siremni no wan kaka wontumi nya store
but say omo mu di dwa bi so bet my store obi bet my aka eye mu abi kura wo kan
ye mu ye ono waka ne ye kan wono wo se sa wo ye southerner na wan ko school a obetumi adidwa wan ka se obeye mu wa o ena me so o wasa ka se sa wo ye siremni na wan ko school wo siremu a adwuma obetumi aya ne se wo beka nwai so
eti sa no so mo ka so mbedi bia omo so bumfu ana
you re
ya say over kanyai
obeye mu
a say mo ya business big time business
and I'm saying say is he saying say obi a wan ko school a wo sirem bia no emwa no yen
and in that case you obi a wo ha bia wan ko school bia so na edidwa
no no aka me nya me ka wono waka na sem oh David, don't tell me what to say. David, don't try. Fanti demand apology from Nana Addo and MPP.
But as someone can say down the young can view.
It was something that no one here can was them.
Now recent achievement.
Now who could tell body I won't know what's an order.
Whether we are body because tell me idea, Juma.
Fanti demand apology from Nana Addo and the MPP. Eugene Entry say Mr. Entry is brought to have labeled Honorable on Isaac Osei, the Member of Parliament for Subin, as a fool in a secret tape which was played on Muntie FM today. The Okaine say Isaac Osei is a fool. It is the Fanti blood in him which makes him a fool. What is more interesting than this? I am Fanti fool more than a woman. And I'm a Jimmy.
Much of my Jake,